Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican priest, Verbus Latinus.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? It's Friday! We made it all the way to Friday. JT Bruce says, "Look at that nice chair. It's nice." JT, I click on your comment, but if I do, I know I will forever lose Portland Trailblazers TV's high this morning. He was first in chat. Portland Trailblazers TV becoming a repeat offender, winning the internet here. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thanks for getting everything kicked off with everybody. Wonderful. Good to have you. It is a fantastic day. I will say, after I had my not perfectly healthy, I had a pretty good breakfast. I think it was a balanced breakfast. It had dairy, it had sweets, it had cookie dough. Okay, I had ice cream for breakfast. I admit, I had ice cream for breakfast this morning. Chocolate chip cookie dough, Toll House brand. It was delicious, so don't at me. It was what was in the freezer. I bought it last night. I'm like, I can't wait anymore. It looks so good. So I had a little ice cream for breakfast. So we'll see how today goes. It was a little bit of a rough night, actually. It was a rough night for me. I was up till about 1:30 editing together a video that everyone asked me not to make, and I had to do anyway. It was the video, the compilation video of Mr. Sykes and the all those sounds, everything. I put all of them together in one video, along with some other audio clips that I took completely out of context to make it look like he was a completely not just unethical, but very inept lawyer. Please don't sue me, Mr. Sykes. I put lots of things in there that show that this is definitely satire. And I admit that I take everything out of context. But I will say to this, if you watch the video, if you can get through all the noises, the ASMR moments, everything in there is in the order it actually occurred. All I did was take little bits out to make it together. I didn't move anything. I did have to adjust the volumes a little bit on some because there are points where he walked away from the microphone. But if you want to see that, I think I did post it. I posted it just about everywhere. I'm not sure if I put it on Facebook. I may not have done Facebook. But it's on the YouTube as just one of the videos. It's one of the few times I post just a video without going live. And it's there for your, I wouldn't say listening and viewing enjoyment because it really isn't that. It's like a trip down memory road, but it's an acid trip down memory road, and not a good one at that. So I just put that out there for you guys. Enjoy, and I apologize. Oh man, it is good to have it be Friday. I will say I'm without my burner phone right now, so if you reach out to me right now, I'm going to have to try to watch it on the computer because my wife took the burner phone. Mrs. RA is out picking up groceries, and apparently my phone is the only thing that will tell them that we've arrived and you can bring us the groceries. I don't know why it's linked to my phone, but there it is. So groceries are ready. She's headed to the store to get all the good food that keeps me fully fed and fat and happy. And so I appreciate that for her. We did do a little run last night, though. That's where the ice cream came from. And that was my addition. Okay, where are we at other than that? Let's do a quick roll call. We have a few things to discuss. We're good there. We are still trying to find if the Sarah Boone case is going to be live streamed. We're trying very desperately to get that. So if any of my amazing sleuths, internet sleuths out there, have a link, we're looking probably WLTX. We're looking at WFLA, any news station that has an indication they're going to carry this pre-trial hearing for Sarah Boone live. We'd love to see it, and these things happen fast as well. We've been there for other ones where it just was, 2 seconds and it was there and gone before you know it. This one will probably take a little longer. According to what I've been able to find for Judge Wooten's schedule today, he has 2 cases slotted for this 10:45 time slot. So we have some time before it comes. But there might be a few minutes, might be 5 to 7 minutes of interaction just for Sarah Boone, which is good because there are some things we have to get sorted out. There's some things that are still on the table that haven't been answered as far as the attorneys and filings, and we definitely need to figure out if that April 10th date for a start for the trial is going to be good or not. Did I have everyone's comments on screen? Did that work? Let's see, Shirley. Yep, there it is. Okay, so quick roll call after I get some water. There's your warning. Whew. All right. I have the pink mug today. I'm trying not to spill. Okay, let's see where we are. Red Pen, 6-Volt Bus, Picky, Shirley Barnett, Ritz, Rev Minister, Horse
6-Volt Bus just
and
sent
bananas.
a super sticker with 4.
I just said your name, 6-Volt Bus. That's amazing. I'll click on it just a minute. I'm going to miss everybody if I scroll down, but we'll bring that up on the screen in just a second. Let's see. Horse Sheet and Bananas. T-Rocks, good morning to you. Picky, KQD. Let's see. I might have missed the weather report. Usually I'll get a weather report first thing from KQD, but it's I might have scrolled down and missed it already. Holly Henderson, good morning. Kathy, thank you very much. I retweeted the tweet. I have not yet posted on my community page, but thank you for sending me that, Kathy. Not a Drama Llama. Let's see, Red Pen. Denise Feldman Ersland. Good morning, Denise. Mo is in the house. Toxic Orchid. We have a mod here. Everyone behave. Everyone behave. They're watching us. Lost Souls Paranormal. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hope it's a fabulous Friday for you. May is here. Agnes Sky. Let's see. Why does it? I still have to fix my computer mouse. Why it won't let me scroll after I click is just super frustrating. Let's see. 6-Volt Bus, Picky, KQD, Kathy. I think these are the early birds on the live stream. Linda Hill's here. Sassy Girl, good morning to you. Holly Henderson as well. Chandra, another mod in the house. There's 2. Jim Bob. Danny Austin is here. Talking to Lost Souls Paranormal, who is right next to him. Right next to him, like literally, like feet across. But that's funny. Danny, Lost Souls, good to have you both on here this morning. Don C, good morning. Picky, Chandra, Virtual Jury Christy is in the house with us. Good morning to you, Christy. Holly Henderson, Patricia Kunzman, Linda Hill, Shirley Barnett, we got you already, I think. Jackie Hughes, Demarius, Gonzalez. Good morning, Demarius. JT Brews Crime, thanks for the tweet this morning. Appreciate you sending that out. The retweet, I guess, was I think I originally said something in there about it being the defense. It was like 3. It was 1:30 in the morning when I posted that video, and I messed up everything. I should not do anything on social media with that little sleep. That's a lesson to me, so I'll learn a little bit. As a matter of fact, when I go back and watch the edit, I'm probably be like, this is awful. I don't know what you were thinking. It could be so much better. Let's see. I'm definitely having like posters regret, like the morning after syndrome for social media. Ritz, good morning, JT. Chandra, Picky, Samantha Terry's here. Good morning, Samantha. Maggie Carr, Ed Gein. Good morning, Ed. Linda Hill, Not a Drama Llama, is in the house. If this trial gets moved, I say we become pen pals with Sarah. Hey, let's do it. Let's see. Shout out to JB this morning from Sharon McDonald. JB, good morning from Sharon and all of us here in chat. Can't wait for the day where you're able to join us in chat. That's going to be exciting. JB, hope you're doing well. Alita Berrigan, is that right? If I say it fast, does it sound better? Good morning to you. Queen Olive as well. Sharon McDonald's. T-Rocks, I think you got you once already this morning, but we'll do it again. Joe Larendry. What's the name of the hot chocolate? I'll post it for you. I'm such a big fan of this hot chocolate. I realize they should probably sponsor the show or something. But wait for it. I've got to pull it up here. I should probably have this saved because it's one of my favorites. Where's the good one? Let's see. Definitely milk. Milk chocolate is my favorite. There it is. Bingo. Wait for it. And it just looks good just in the picture. Okay. Here we go. Hot chocolate. I know the season's almost over, but I drink this stuff year round. You can turn the AC way down and pretend it's cold, and then you drink it, and it's great. Shirley Barnett is here. Thea M. Barnes, good morning. Been looking forward to this case. I'm so excited. I'm hoping we're getting some good information today. We're going to definitely go over all the letters and just rehash where we're at and talk a little bit about that. Danny is here. Shirley Barnett. T-Rocks again. You guys are all early. Weather Watch was here, but he retracted his message. Sorry about that. Rockin' Dawkins. Picky. Janet Koleth, good morning. My Dog Murray is here. Just going down the list, marking you all on the roll here. Carrie, good morning to you as well. Scrolling down, I'm halfway through. Holly from Charleston, South Carolina. Good morning, Holly. Good to have you with us. Lynn Hoke, Michelle Phillips. Patches is here. Got people taking their seats, so this is probably right when I went live. Let's see. Warren, Ritz, Agent K, Jim Bob, Horse Sheet and Bananas. We got you, Pampered Glamper. Hello. Norma Go. I have to click. It breaks the rhythm when I have to click and then scroll. Linda Hill, Patricia, Texas Val. It's got to be a better way than this. KX Star, I just can't click on it. That's what I have to do. I just can't click. I apologize. I want to put your names on the screen, but I just, it's killing me. KX Star, Lost Souls, Danny Austin, we got you. Chandra is here. Michaela R. JREPTX is in the house. Michaela R. again. Don C. First Lady A. Miss Winters, hello. MCAT, Patty P. Tracy Anzar. Cher Bear, good morning, Cher Bear. Irish Bella, Elena Danner. Mr. Upper Torso, it's STFU Friday. Sarah learns too late. Pampered Glamper, good morning. T-Rocks, Ace of Swords, Zero. Agent K, Becky Lou. Where did that go? Now it just scrolled and I got everybody. I lost everybody. Lisa Wilmot, Maisla, Randy Rabbit, Nana Geek Joe Ellen. Good morning, Nana Geek. Patty P, Cyber Writer, Debbie, Jill Martin, and Angelos Rowe. Elena Danner, Sonia Torres, Katerina Scarcella. 80s Music Man is here. Good morning, 80s Music Man. Hope you have a great day today. Sherry Marshall, Jeff Owens, Liz Larson. Does Sarah know that her letters become public? Yes, she does. And some of her letters actually address that. I think she mentions it in this last one. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Picky, Maisla, T-Rocks, Diana, True Celtic Mutt. Good morning, Mutt. Michelle Phillips, Deborah Jones, Samantha Terry, Koski, Salty Fishing Girl. Good morning. Apple Pie Kennedy as well. Diane Humberg, Micah Ruddle, Mary Murphy, Kevin, KD214, Tara P, Amanda E, Salty Fishing Girl, we got you again. Jill Martin, Angelos Rowe, S. Webb, Not One Man's View. Don't they sell that brand of chocolate in Walmart? Some Walmarts they do. I've been able to find it in Food Lion as well, in very limited quantities. So I would definitely check your local store as well. Last Poet, I see you there with the hands up. Welcome. Bama Cat, Tennessee is in the house. Good to have you, Bama Cat. Lake, when is pretrial hearing? The trial hearing is not till 10:45. We've got 2 hearings scheduled at that time for Judge Wooten, which is good because last time he had like 20 scheduled at the same time as hers. Backwoods Nation, good morning. Robin Gross. Sorry, Robin. Paul Skibby. Red Pen, Scottish Lassie, also known as Karen. Good morning to you, Scottish Lassie. Sassy65, Dennis D, Jim Bob, Tracy Anzar, Oregon Proud, Denise Duggar, Carol Williams, Biloxi Girl. Let's see, Mary Murphy, Paul, Katerina, Tina P, Jen, Jane Deer Girl, Nana Pam, Britt Bratt, Ann Jacobs, Janice Ashley, BU Me, Violet, good morning. Love your channel. Thank you very much, Violet. Glad you found us. Veronica Reyes, JM. I think I might have missed somebody. I realize that some of you have put your hands up. I'm sort of just going to scroll down from where I am right now. Tina P, good morning. I have to be in the office today, so I can't attend the Sarah Boone hearing. Dang it. I was going to ask you. I saw some of the posts. I was like, I wonder if she's going to get in the courthouse today. That pesky work, Tina, it just gets in the way sometimes.
Let no dead horse go unbeaten.
Well said, Mr. Harpootlian. Katerina Scarcella, Paul Skibby, Mary Murphy, Weather Watch, Denise Duggar, Oregon Proud. I think I scrolled back up here. Carol Williams, T-Rocks, we need your fancy equipment to run a roll call script to compile a list for you to read off and save with your sanity or get a new mouse. T-Rocks, we're working on that. My son actually wrote one, and I can't get it to work properly with the tool I have that exports the... It's not playing nice with the YouTube API. That's what I'm saying.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
So we're trying to get a roll call tool built. I've got parts of it ready. He could probably run it and it would work perfectly, but when I run it, it doesn't. So I'm not saying that it's operator error, but something's not working here. Do you know the time of Sarah Boone? Yep, 10:45. So we've got some time to go over some letters before that starts. Shirley Barnett, Monica Soflo. Gail Pett, Maisla, Debbie, CD Man 77. It's Sarah Boone time. Rachel Wood, Michelle Stark, Krob. Good morning to you. Let's see. Got a few more hands here I missed. Morton Anderson, I can't miss that. Katrina, Cope and Whiskey, Jim Bob, Carolina Girl, Morton Anderson, Last Poet, Jeanette French, Gordon.
I'm not a camel.
Alfred Rosler. Krob, got you there. Carolyn Hakes. Did I get everybody? Okay, I'm going to need just a show of hands of people I've missed. Diane Plummer, Michelle Stark, Annie H., MCAT Eddie.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Angie Burr. Tina Carrion, welcome. Monday is here as well, even though it's a Friday. Good to have Monday here, a little in advance. Eddie, Cass, Lily Girl, Puppy Dog, Sherpa Bone Digger is here. Marilyn Villagomez, Christy Hogan, Golden Mare, Liz Larson. Oh my goodness, it's going fast right now. JM, Carrie, T-Rock, Sherry Marshall, Golden Girl, Baby Bear, Shells, DH2, the JD, Taco, Nana Palm, Sunny Florida Mom, Grandma Nancy, Dr. McDreamy, good morning. Hope is here. Hope is in the house. That's awesome. Dean Sparks, I should say we have hope. That's what we have. Eileen Thurling, Shirley Bennett, Gordon, Rockin' Dawkins, True Celtic Mutt, Knoxville Agent, Samantha Terry, Donna Thompson, Randy Rabbit, Monique Holmes, Marilyn Villa Gomez, Katrina Debbie, BBN Turner. I think I'm caught up. If I missed you, I do apologize. Put your hands up if I did. Lee, I see you there. Deborah Thurlby, Margaret R., if I missed you and you just showed up though, you have to type ! late in chat to indicate that you were late and you should have been here earlier. You said hi to me 2 times, Randy Rabbit. 2 times is low. Usually I get 3, so you're on the low side there. Good morning, Margaret. Incog Frog as well. Big Sky DMC. Nikita, hello. You've been unwell. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope you had a fab birthday. I did. Hope you're feeling better though. Birthdays come and go all the time. Hope your health, that's important. Get feeling better for sure. Glad you can be with us this morning. Lisa Hogan, Carol Lynn, Rolling Steady. Is there anyone else I missed here? Lee, Pam Carroll, VC, because you gave me a thumbs down. I got a thumbs down. I'm sorry. Carl Herschel, Kevin, Sandra Doland. So, I think we're good. I think we're ready to start. I think so. Bobby Hansen, there you are. Will this be a short hearing? It will. Randy, this is, in these hearings, almost anything can happen, first of all. This can be something where motion in limine type thing comes up, and they decide what can and can't be brought into court as far as evidence. There could be schedule changes. There could be motions to pay for new experts and to change basically all sorts of things about the trial. Everything about the trial that's set before trial happens is set in these pretrial hearings through motions, and they're addressed by the judge. Dean Sparks, did I get your DM on Discord? I have not done the DMs on Discord yet. I have. You guys know there are some of you that I was texting like at 5 o'clock this morning because I got up early because who needs sleep, right? And I try every single day to respond to every single text message I get, at least on the burner phone. And then I try to go in and comment and like and respond to comments on the YouTube channel. And it's becoming a lot. So you guys are getting responses at weird hours, just whenever I'm up and available. But I have not gotten to Discord yet. I apologize. I'll try to take a look at that. Okay. Vinny's mom, your voice is so relaxing. You are so chill. Vinny's mom, I love this. I don't know how else to say that. I absolutely love doing this. And when I'm done at the end of the day, I come like bouncing out of the office, like, yay, what's up, guys? And everyone's like, it's been a long day. And I'm like, yeah, but aren't you excited? Are you just as pumped? Because when I'm done after this, I'm just as excited as when we start. Angie Burr, Enabled Gifts, I think, found your channel from Brandy Churchwell. Brandy is amazing. Glad to have her participate on the channel in various ways. She's been on here as a guest as well. We love her. I'm looking forward to some of her work in specifically in the BK case, honestly. I think that's where I'm going to just rely heavily on her ability to put pieces together in a way that I can understand. But she's also fun to watch on Twitter. If you are on Twitter, you should probably follow Brandy Churchwell. She's up to date on a lot of things. Very active over there as well. How many times can someone continue a trial? And there's no limit. It's not like you have 3 more continuances left. Basically, it's the judge that has to look at the whole thing and say, look, we've got a few things to consider, right? We have the needs of the prosecution, who has an obligation to proceed with the case, right? To get all the information they need to be able to charge and get their witnesses ready and put their information in a row and be able to proceed. So they have timelines that might take some time. So that's considered. You've got the defense side, who has the same things case-wise to prepare for in trial. And they also have the defendant, okay, the accused, who has some rights. And you can't just lock somebody up forever without sending them to trial. And so Sarah Boone now has, she waived one of those rights. It's very key in the scheduling process, and that is the right to a speedy trial. She's saying, I don't care about that right. I'm going to waive that. You don't have to hurry and get me into court and prosecute me right away. She waived that, and so we're going on 3 years of her being in jail. But the judge is mindful of that, and even though she waived the right, he's still not going to just let her sit there and rot in jail without this ever coming to court. So the longer it goes, the more he's going to be like, look, we need some progress. We need to move forward. This needs to come to trial. We've waited long enough. And 3 years in Florida on a murder trial, yeah, that's about right. Let's get some action here. Let's get going. So the further we go, the more pushback you're going to see from the judge as he just says, hey, now's the time. You've had enough time. Let's get going. Tina Carrion, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much. I think I missed some previous members. I do apologize. Let's see. Wallflower, member for 1 month. Thank you very much. I'm a member for, that's the 2nd month with the light blue courthouse. It looks great. Thank you very much, Wallflower, for that. James Egan from The Trial Can Sing. He's great. Listened to him last night. So different without his glasses. Yes, he and his wife both do music. You can find some YouTube videos as well of them sort of doing some a live stream. I think it was a fundraiser live stream. Idea for Sarah Boone merchandise. We're playing hide and seek. We were playing hide and seek. DH to the JD. Good to have you in green in the courthouse. Congratulations, my friend, on hitting that 3-month mark. I've been a member for 2 already. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, I missed the super chat. Just give me just a second. Let me see if I can play that again. I think that was 6-Volt Bus who sent that. And I apologize, it went off the screen, so I'm going to try to re-trigger it. Let's see. There it is. So I can hear it at least.
6-Volt Bus just sent a super sticker with 4.
It was just a super sticker. I thought it was a question. I apologize, but I missed the super sticker. Somebody's gonna have to tell me what it was. I'm sorry about this. That 6-Volt. I owe you better than that. Appreciate you your support though. Okay, we have Windy in Mississippi. Look at this, Katrina. Been a member for 3 months already. I saved my anniversary message to say shout out to chat friends and poop emoji with a smiling face rolling on the floor, laughing and crying. Thank you very much, Katrina, for that. That is a great anniversary message to share. The smiling pile of poo. Smiling pile of poo is the funny one. Squirrel. Okay, Windy in Mississippi. I think we're good. Just a virtual beverage. All right, sounds good. I've got my actual beverage, my water to go on today. Good morning, Color Me Abstract. Good to have you here. And Nicole's here from Goodman Law Firm. Nicole, thanks for, you're up early. I know you're up early and you didn't get much sleep because you were up editing video while I was up editing video. love your video as well. We were both making the same a video on the same theme with the coughing and the sputtering and the snorting of Mr. Sykes. Both of us have that. We may share that. I'm not sure if I can do that on the channel without I think YouTube might strike me or something for that. It's such an offensive video. It really is. I don't know what else to do. Good stuff though. And I think I'm subscriber number 2 on your channel, Nicole. So if you're ready for that to be shared, let me know. I won't put that out until you give me the go ahead though. Robot voice smiling poop emoji is hilarious. Let's see. I have a gift membership I'm trying to join, but I guess it has to expire first. I don't know how that works. I've heard that if you go through like a computer, it's easier and you can get around that. Some people said I have a gift membership and I was able to gift, or I was able to join. I don't know how that functions. My suitcase looks exactly like Sarah's. Thinking about getting rid of it. Poor George. Baby Bear, you might want to sell it on eBay. They might be a hot item here soon. You never know. Tag, good morning with the peeps, with the 3 months as well. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing. When do you sleep, recovery addict? I don't. Sleep is for the weak. No, I honestly, maybe this is too much information. I feel like Mr. Terry here when I start sharing this. After 5 hours of sleep, I just wake up. I don't know what it is. 5 hours, I'm like, body's like, well, that was long enough. And it doesn't matter. It can be like perfect, wrapped up in the blanket, snuggled, so comfortable, no noise outside, no kids, beating on the door or, popping balloons in the hall or anything. And it's just like 5 hour ding, eyes awake, like sun's up, guns up, here we go. And that's where it was. So I think I got a little less than that last night, but my body was just like, that's enough. Amy Allen says, I rewatched Sarah Boone's police interview on police cam on arrival at scene. I think she was drunk and her dark side came out from his previous abuse. Yes, and that previous abuse is going to be a factor. Maybe even mentioned somewhat as far as the additional experts that the defense is trying to hire. So we'll see how that goes. Never own a suitcase that can fit a body. It's like a curse. Eileen's playing hooky this afternoon from class. P.S. I'm the teacher of an adult craft class. Oh, the teacher is playing hooky. That is awesome. Hopefully the substitute teacher isn't also on chat and recognizing you. But I won't tell. We won't out you. Haven't watched any interviews, but it's getting more and more difficult not to research this. Rockin' Dawkins, this case, first of all, if you know nothing about Sarah Boone, if you haven't heard any of the news, if you haven't followed any of the stories about the case. Hey, what's up? I don't have a phone. Mom's got it. Okay. Sorry. It's my oldest little RA. tax time, doing taxes. That's fun. Anyway, so if you haven't done any research on the Sarah Boone case, I will warn you, first of all, that as crazy and excited as we are for this case, as you know, with all the weirdness and the circus act that surrounds it, it has some very dark elements. It is a murder, after all. Murder is never fun, especially for the person who was murdered. And in this case, the offense was filmed. It was filmed by the defendant. We've got poor George, the boyfriend, possibly after some drinking and them playing a game. I think he probably willingly got in the suitcase, thinking it was funny. But as soon as the suitcase was closed, the game was over as far as Sarah was concerned. And George never got out again alive. And that's filmed, and it's in there, and you'll see and hear him in the suitcase, and that is just it's awful video. That part is dark. I'm not trying to make light of that. The other side, Sarah Boone is crazy. She honestly thinks that if she just says, "I didn't mean for him to die," that she can walk away from this and be like, "Well, that was fun. What's next?" And so you've got this. It's so divergent from reality that she honestly believes that she's not guilty because she didn't intend for him to die, even though, you know, on the video she's yelling at him and swearing at him and saying, you know, "That's my name," you know, whatever. He's begging, "Sarah, let me out, I can't breathe," and she's saying, "Haha, you know, that's how I make you. That's how I feel when you cheat on me," you know, and dropping the F-bomb and everything else. And it doesn't look like a game at that point, and it's on her phone, and it's going to be used against her. Speaking of phones, mine's back. Thank you, Mrs. R.A. All right. Okay. Let's see. Chat is not showing on the screen. How about now? Thank you very much for that, Rosie. Anyway, so that's sad. Patches says, "Feeling sad for Terry Sanderson." You know, I'm glad that Gwyneth just said, you know, had a kind word as she left. That she's not bitter. I think for her, she's done. She's absolutely done. She's walking away from this, and it's no deal. I was listening to some of the other lawyers. I think Runkle of the Bailey late last night, also while I'm editing, was talking about this, and Rob from Law and Lumber was on there on his chat talking as well. And between, I'm not sure who brought it up, but they basically were saying that that what they expect Gwyneth to do on this side is to not hit him with all the lawyer's fees. Okay, that they're probably going to say, "Hey, we'll find an agreement somewhere. Okay, if we have to, we'll throw this at you, and you'll have to pay every single penny." But they'll probably find agreement where they say, no disparaging. You know, it's basically like a gag order, but we're saying you can either pay us for everything the judge says you owe, or the judge will say you owe, because it hasn't really been hammered down yet, or you can agree to this, and we'll say, hey, you get off a lot easier, you get off a lot lighter. Jody Estes, is it your birthday today? I had a little bird just told me it was your birthday. Sorry to interrupt the Sarah Boone thought, but birthdays are important. Jody, congratulations. If it's anyone else's birthday, please pipe up in chat, Jody, and everyone please wish her a happy birthday. That's awesome, Jody. Thank you so much. Rockin' Doctor says, I love Runkle and Rob, both excellent lawyers. Fantastic. I love watching them. Alcohol is going to be a major factor in this case, but not a factor that will lessen the responsibility on Sarah. That can't be used as an excuse, unfortunately for her. Anyway, so we've got I forgot exactly where I was on the explanation. Tornadoes coming tonight. Yes, we've got that as well. We had the little update from Weather Watch last night about that, and we've got like 2 areas that are, they're red. The red areas are bad. Okay, of the map, there are 2 areas right in the center of the country, sort of top and bottom, that are red. Her letters. Who asked the question about the letters? Right here. Cashette says, did her letters to the judge get anywhere? What we know is that the judge at least reads them, because in the last hearing, the judge had responded to the lawyer, Mr. Frank Benkowitz, and saying, hey, you need to meet with your client, because she's writing me saying you aren't meeting with her. So we know he at least reads them, but most of the correspondence to the judge, all that is going to happen is it's going to be stamped, received, and filed into the slot. Like this last one did. It was stamped, received, it was scanned in, and it's done. Now this last letter was scanned in incorrectly. We have page 1 and 3. We don't have page 2 and 4. And we're trying to get the court to remedy that. They have not done that yet. So it's sort of pieces of a letter. We can only assume that it has just as a bizarre ending as all the other letters do. No, Chrissy, you have not missed the hearing. That's going to come at 10:45. We've got about an hour before that starts. We are still looking for the live feed for who's going to cover this. I have not been able to locate that. So we might have to cover it just from the notes and the reports of people who are present. Who are sharing the information, but that's where we are. We're still hunting for that. I think that Runkle and Rob were correct. That's it. We can go, but can Terry's ego allow him to do it? I sure hope so. It'll leave him with his life not completely messed up by the lawsuit. T-Rox, yeah, we're talking about. That's what I was talking about before. That most likely, Gwyneth Paltrow's team will contact Terry's team and say, let's make a deal. Let's split this. We're not going to make you pay all these fees because honestly, Gwyneth can afford to pay the lawyer's fees. That's that's really nothing for her. She's probably going to have him pay some of the fees. He's got to have some skin in the game, but at the same time, she's going to say no book deals, no world tours trashing Gwyneth Paltrow. Just you for your silence, we'll waive X amount of fees. And that way he won't be, completely bankrupted because he's, his net worth is arguably, some people have said around $500,000, and that could be very close, or a large portion of that could be the fees that come from this case. So he could lose most of what he has and his ability to travel and everything else. And it doesn't sound like she's being vindictive, and she'll probably want to help him that way. So that's the idea. What's the plan for you and Thomas's plans for the podcast tonight? The plan is full speed ahead, Michelle. It's happening. Thomas is already on it. We're going to be taking the afternoon off, and part of that is because I need to focus on some things for the podcast as well. Jen Lou, thank you for answering about the letter. I was confused about that too. Also, I'm sure the rest is angry and signed with a nice closing. Yes, there's always, that's been consistent in all her letters, and we're gonna review those. I was pulling them up as we were getting set here. Just 1 minute. Correspondence. Trying to find the. Okay. We have 11 correspondence things filed from different people, from judge to defendant. That was just a filing accepting it. So we're gonna pull these up. Looking forward to the podcast tonight. It's gonna be so much fun. It always is fun. It's fun just to hang out and talk with you guys as well. Yes, we have some merch on eBay. We're also trying to start Teespring. So I have my hoodies are only available on Teespring right now, which allows me to not have to pay the extra fees for eBay, which lowers the price, which is good because I didn't like the price that was on going through eBay. What's the podcast called? We just call it Thomas and Scott Talks, or Scott and Thomas Talks. I'm not sure which one we decided on, but it's just Scott and Thomas. It's us, the two of us, and all of you. Is Sarah Boone letter on Discord? I couldn't find it. I'm not sure if it's posted there yet. It should be there. It'll probably be there today if it's not. The podcast is right here. Right now it's hosted live on YouTube on this channel. And it's done every Friday night at 8 p.m. live. Speaking of letters, do you think Sarah Boone may be correct that her attorney is not communicating with her? Yes, Jen, I think so, because what we saw in the last hearing with the judge is that Sarah Boone wrote the letter saying, here's how many days. I mean, she's keeping track. She's very good at this. She's keeping track of how many days it's been, how many minutes he's talked to her. She's got basically receipts for everything, right? And she goes to the judge with those facts. The judge presents them to Mr. Bankowitz, the lawyer, and Mr. Bankowitz, instead of disputing the facts, gives his excuses. So I think she was right on. So if she says he's, I still haven't seen you, she probably still hasn't seen him. There's a good chance that they've spoken on the phone, at least. The judge ordered that to happen, and that was supposed to happen, I forget the date, by the last hearing. He was supposed to talk to her. And I think they've at least communicated, but it definitely not as much as Sarah would like. Here, I will, I see your, Michelle, I see your question here. Just one second. I'm typing over my my cup, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to dump it on the laptop here in just a second. Okay, there's the hoodie link, Michelle, for Teespring. It only has the hoodies on there right now. I'm looking at some other stuff as well. Can we read the new letter? Colby, now is a good time to read the new letter. Thanks for getting me back on track. We'll go up to the top and read the new letter first because that's good. Let's see. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hearing's still on. Just double checking the schedule to make sure no last minute changes occurred, and it looks like it's still on. So here's what we have. The letter itself is not a lot to look at. Let me make it full screen here. Okay, here we go. Okay. There we go. So here's the letter. I'll be on screen so you can see me. It's dated the 22nd of March, 2 days before my birthday, but it took almost a week for the court to file it. So I'm going to read this in my nicest voice. No music for this one, okay? No sad music. I did read this with sad violin music before, but we're trying to actually think this through. So dated 3/22/23 to Frank J. Bankwitz, Esquire. That's his business address, so I'm not worried about blanking that out. It's got her case number as well, which she's put on all her letters so far. It's referred to the judge, meaning that this is a copy that was sent to the judge. The judge has filed it. Obviously, the lawyer is not going to file the communications between his client, but Sarah wants the judge to know she's written to the lawyer. So we're sort of reading we're on the RE line, right? Mr. Bankowitz, this is my third letter trying to reach you over another almost 6-week period now. The same two phone numbers you've given me still do not work. The one number, your personal cell, goes to voicemail directly and doesn't even ring. I've had this number since you personally gave me back in July 2022, upon your appointment as my attorney by the court. Not working still 8 months later. The other number rings and rings until it automatically disconnects me. Not working either. This is also the number you continuously tell me it just needs to be activated. Please activate. I even, in my desperation to speak with you, had an outside caller try to reach you on my behalf, who tried calling your office 3 times over the last almost 3 weeks, leaving a voicemail each time with no reply. This is hard because I'm trying to read it exactly as she wrote it instead of what she meant to say. And sometimes she trips over words or leaves things out. So I'm trying to be as accurate as possible here. We're both hoping you are able to reply to her email she sent today as another form of trying to communicate with you. I've exhausted my resources and again, just sitting here waiting for you to contact me in whatever way you are able as soon as possible, please. Time-sensitive matters are at hand, as I have made you aware of previously, verbally and in my letter. I know you have attempted to schedule the minimum 15-minute, and now it jumps from page 1 here. The next page is, if it will work right, it's showing page 3. It jumps to page 3 right here. Okay, so we've missed schedule a 15-minute something. My pretrial conference, I found out, is now on 3/31, which you said previously for whatever reason I am unable to attend of any of these conferences. How am I supposed to know what's going on and what you are reporting and what is being discussed between all other parties except me, the main component in my case? Especially if we, in a still unestablished attorney-client relationship, are not in regular or proper communication with one another. Why can't I be in attendance and participate in my pretrial conference? How else am I to be kept updated in the real time and actual minutes during the conference if not there myself? I have no way of knowing anything if not updated by you, my attorney, and I do not have a computer to use/view myself. Help me understand, please, how can Court TV, different news channels, and even professional YouTubers, professionals in quotes, air quotes, professional YouTubers attend my PTC and I cannot? How? I'm sure if the other parties can help me, one of the other parties can help me with updates, since they will all be in attendance for me also, should he be unable to provide why I cannot be included in my PTC for my case. I'm sure also everything from the conference collected from everyone else will be vomited all over the internet, just like everything else has been, non-permissively, and can add even more dysfunction and ignorance to my prejudgment already made by the world in the great court of public opinion. I would like to be a part of all this, seeing as it all pertains to me. Please, it is my right. So many questions, concerns, and piling up from not being... Boom. And that's what, now it's cut off. Yes, we asked for the other pages. They have not done it yet. And I'm not sure if they will. From what I've heard, we got it. Good job. Thank you. From what I've heard, the court has a process where they scan it and shred it. We saw this in whose case was it? Darrell Brooks, as a matter of fact, where the court he filed an appeal after his conviction and before he got moved up to Milwaukee. He filed an appeal, and the judge is like, "Hey, since you're here anyway. Let's go ahead and handle this appeal." And they went to pull it up, and they had not filed it properly, but it had been shredded, and they could not find it. And they're like, "Can you just file it again? Can you, that?" And it was a little embarrassing for her because the court had literally destroyed the paperwork. You can hear her voice through her wording. Yes. She is the main component in my case. Why do I find this kind of funny? Because it says case. Because it says case, Juniper. But the couple things we can draw out from this. First of all, she says that at the very beginning, especially if we in a still unestablished attorney/client relationship are not in regular or proper communication with each other. So she's got all these indications that there's been no reply. She says 3 times over the last 3 weeks, leaving a voicemail each time with no reply. So over the last 3 weeks, it's probable that 3 weeks ago there was some contact. Otherwise, we would have the counters as we've had in previous emails where she said, "It's been 6 months, this long, since you've been appointed my attorney, and I still haven't heard from you." I don't see those here. That could be in the other 2 pages. But with her saying over almost the last 3 weeks, that indicates that something happened, probably at the bare minimum to meet the court's requirement for Mr. Bankowitz. So he could say, "Done. I met with her, and now I'm just proceeding." He hates this case. This is no secret. Mr. Bankowitz has tried to get off this case. He has gone to the judge and said, "Please, judge, this is not good for me. It's not good for my family. Please let me off the case." And the judge says, "No, I can't." And I think part of the problem that turned around and actually bit Mr. Bankowitz in the butt is that he waited so long to file the "please let me off." He basically filed it at the last minute right before a hearing. And the judge is like, "Hang on, if there was a problem, you should have told me about this before suddenly it's your turn to do something." And Mr. Bankowitz, I haven't seen him in any other cases. All I've been able to do is research his history. Unfortunately, that history includes being reprimanded by the Florida Supreme Court for some behavior that's not very becoming of a lawyer, specifically failing to communicate with your client. He's actually been, he's got their demerit. He's been, read formally into the record a reprimand for not communicating with the client. He ended up having to pay some money back. He's also got reprimanded for a tax issue, which he resolved that I think was probably an oversight. But it's a problem. It seems to be in his history, and it's happening again. And Sarah Boone, she knows all these facts because people write her letters and tell her about what's going on. She gets letters from all over the country, just like Mr. Sykes yesterday, saying he gets letters from Britain, Canada, everything. So that's where it is. That's the latest and greatest letter. So as we go into the hearing today, Sarah has asked, and she asked in her last letter. Let me see if I can pull it up. Just one second. The one to the judge. Motion for cost, pretrial, correspondence from defense to attorney. This was on, it's the 17th. Let me pull up this other letter. 1 second. Sarah Boone trial. Okay, letter. We've got the motions to withdraw. January 10th. This is the letter. Okay, so this is going back to the 10th. Let me show you this letter. This is also from Sarah to her lawyer. Written on the 10th, filed on the 17th. It takes about a week for the court to file the paperwork. So here she says, hello and Happy New Year to Mr. Bankiewicz. Hello and Happy New Year. I hope the holidays were lovely and very memorable for you and your family. I just wanted to check in as I have not heard from you since the status hearing back in 12/27/22. So that's the first time she heard from him at all. And want to confirm you are still my attorney after your motion to withdraw was filed 12/19/22. It is my understanding you are, which is why I'm writing you directly, but also including Judge Wooten, for I fear I did not receive a response like that last almost 5 months, 21 weeks, 147 days. So that's what she does. She counts how long it's been since the last time you talked to her. It is very important to me that you are aware of my questions and concerns for the anticipated pretrial conference on 1/17/23. If you are unable to speak to me beforehand, which I am very much hoping you will be, unfortunately, I am unsure what else to inquire about, as I am unaware of any other progress going on in my case. In the meantime, please see below, and thank you in advance for the information and clarification. Now she lists her grievances. Pretrial conference, Tuesday, 1/17/23. I would like to be in attendance. What time, please? I have not received a notice via mail or heard from you as to ask and no time was stated during the status hearing. Please make the necessary arrangements for me to be included. It is my right. Let me change the view here. I need single page. There we go. Okay, number 2, waiver of appearance. Please mail or bring me the appropriate documents to unwaive my appearances going forward to everything I am able to be included on, so I am kept updated with all status of my case. It is my right. Please note, I have not signed any paperwork for you since the start of your representation at 7/11/22 as my attorney, so I am unclear as to how my right to appear was waived in the first place, nor have I verbally given permission for the waiver either. Please provide the signed copy at your earliest convenience. She seems to have a legitimate gripe here. Number 3, reason for withdrawal. I was not made known by you as my attorney or stated by the judge to the court during the status hearing. I was completely blindsided and still massively confused for the attempt as our attorney-client relationship hasn't even been established from the 2 hours we have spoken out of the now 4,536. She tracks every hour that she hasn't spoken to Bankiewicz. And the general information it was when we actually did. If you had genuine, legitimate concerns, I thought from a professional, moralistic standpoint, you would have discussed it with me, or at least mentioned rather than being uncommunicative for almost 6 months, an entire half of another year for me, just sitting here with nothing to show but the perpetual question mark still over my head. I would have hoped if you were unable to maintain your workload, which still presently includes me as your client, you would not have made the decision to take on my case and even give me selling points on all your capabilities and resources. Why? Please help me understand. We are supposed to be working together and for each other rather than against it. It worries me futuristically. I don't know if that's a word, but futuristically she's worried. Also, I have not to date received the copy of your withdrawal. Judge Wooten said I was included on when reading the certificate of service during the hearing. Please provide me a copy. Number 4, phone account. I was previously told to me by you in our one in-person meeting on 8/22/22 that you already had this set up and were having your assistant look into so we could use. After not answering any of my calls, the few I did make in attempt to touch base with you to provide your requested information you asked me for, I stopped calling you, Mr. Bankiewicz, and have not to date since September 2022. I kept hoping you would call me or set up a visit, even for 15 minutes, which has not happened. Please help me understand why you gave me your personal cell phone number. He's asking the same question. Why did I give her my personal cell phone number? Also, to clarify for you, the judge, etc., I did not avidly search for the statements regarding your public reprimands in 2015 and 2018 in an attempt to speak with you from no response to my letters or calls, cell phone or office. When having someone look up any contact alternative and to confirm your address from a letter I sent that was returned then resent, the reprimands were discovered, and for the same complaint as mine, lack of communication. During the status hearing, when I made this known, I was not clear in the end if you were going to actually set up again the phone account to be used, which any and all callers, inmates, must have established in order to speak to family, friends, attorneys, anyone. It is nothing new or extra, and all costs incurred can be submitted for payment to the court, as you have done in the past already. This is how attorneys communicate with their clients here in OCCD. Another option is in addition to 45-minute video visits, 15-minute at-home visits, in-person visits, and of course the postal service. It would definitely make sense to use in avoidance and even more time being exhausted in the length between any visits in the future, which will only help the progress of everything. Will you be utilizing? That was tough. She got carried away in that one. Number 5, discovery/case materials. Sorry, I'm ignoring chat a little bit. I apologize. You might be saying all sorts of stuff. Justin saying they need to disbar him. Honestly, I don't think they disbar him, but he could definitely get reprimanded again if this is the case. If everything that she's saying is true, he might have another black mark on his record coming, and that's not good. I don't know if it's a 3 strikes you're out rule or what, but either way, it sounds bad if the facts are as Sarah Boone sets them out. So number 5, discovery/case materials. In the status hearing, you stated you have 2 boxes of information that are out of order and unorganized. Have you organized and reviewed? How long have they been in your possession? When will we be going over? It is extremely concerning this is all you have. It has been said there were 3, 5, 6, a ton from some of the attorneys prior to my case. Which is it and what is there? 3 years later, I'm still wondering. I've also put in numerous hours, pages, pen ink of my own information, which I am praying is either in either of the boxes you currently have. Please let me know, as I have as the added amount of even more time to locate, receive, review anything missing from everyone receiving before then withdrawing will most definitely be extreme. I don't know what you have. I also could assist in organizing what you do have, considering it's all part of my case. I am eagerly waiting and more than willing to help with this and everything else. I just need to see what is there, which I have yet to 3 years later. 6, prosecutor. Yep, I agree, Sassy. She's entitled to a good defense, and she should get it. Let's see. She does have nice handwriting, Juniper, which I'm thankful for. If it were awful, it already hurts. She gets carried away in her sentences. I do as well. but it makes it a little hard to read that way. At least the handwriting is good. So, prosecutor, is there a new one in my case? I noticed his attendance during the 3 status hearing attempts and came to the conclusion there is. Since you have not communicated with me or any information, nor an announcement made by the court, I do not know. If so, what is his name? What is his background? Mr. Bankiewicz, you must understand how insignificant I have been made to feel with the never-ending debacles, hurdles, and stumbling blocks I have and am going through and still facing since becoming incarcerated. No one seems to listen, ever. I absolutely refuse to believe this, my entire experience to date, really is how our justice system operates. I refuse because, as said to you, Judge Wooten, the court, to everyone else in the status hearing, and to anyone who truly cares, my reason is hope, never ending, no matter what. Hope, this being the entire reason I'm even here for my incarceration. Nothing is impossible with God, and I await my day to say my truth and side of everything. Please don't give up. I have not and will not, ever. I await your response. Always, Mr. Bankiewicz. Thank you. Sincerely, Sarah Boone. This is just the latest letter. We've got a letter to the judge. Let's see. Let me find another one. So that's 1, 2. That was the 10th. Letter to the judge. On December 5th, we can go back to. Love Sarah Boone. Why is she such a good writer? Sarah Bailey, she does well at everything she does, apparently. She is very intense. I think honestly, I think maybe the lawyer could actually use her help sorting out the documents. He doesn't know what's there. Maybe she could sort it. Either way, he's going to have to know what's in there. But it's a well-organized letter, maybe used against her. This is so much I can't even remember the first page. You know who else has good handwriting? Daryl Brooks, also Amber Heard. Sometimes people who feel out of control will perfect the little things, anything they can. I don't know what Sarah Boone did for a living. I believe she wasn't employed at the time that she was arrested. That's printing, not handwriting. Nikita, if this is true, this is appalling. She needs better representation. Also, she has good points. If she has an assistant, she has somebody on the outside. I don't know who the assistant is, but somebody on the outside has contacted the lawyer for her, or is contacting from another angle. Her attorney is court appointed, Allison, and we could go into that a little bit. The first lawyer said, "Hey, I motion to withdraw, and please pay me my $50." Okay, because that's what he got. The second lawyer said, "We have irreconcilable differences." The first one actually withdrew because she said she was going to get a private attorney. So he's like, "Okay, you hire your own attorney. I am out." They let him off. Then she said, "Oh, I can't afford my own attorney because apparently they want to be paid, and I can't do that." So they brought her back onto the public defender. That one says, "I have irreconcilable differences. I need to be let go." The judge says, "Really? What are these differences?" He says, "I can't go into it. Just no, Judge, it's serious. I need to be let go." Judge says, "Okay." Third one comes in and says, "Look, I need to withdraw. We've got a conflict of interest. I've represented George, okay, in another case. George is the decedent. So I can't really represent her now. That just wouldn't be right." Judge says, "You're right. You're off you go." The fourth one comes along and says, "Look, I previously represented one of the witnesses in the case, and now I've got a conflict of interest because I've got information about that. That wouldn't be fair." Judge says, "You're right. Off you go." The fifth one comes along, Mr. Bankowitz, and says, "Hey, I've got an undisclosed conflict, but it's really bad." And the judge says, "No, okay? No, this needs to go forward. What is it?" And he's like, "It's bad. My family, it's just not, my family can't do this." I don't know why he brings his family into it. What he does, he specifically says, "It's, my family. It doesn't work with this whole Sarah Boone representation thing." Judge says, "You're doing it anyway. Go ahead." And since then, but even before then, there's been very little communication back and forth. There's been very little work on the case. If you look at the actual trial records, if you go to myorangeclerk.com, and do a record search for Sarah Boone, you could pull up all the records. Florida does a great job of sharing their court records. And you can see there's very little motions as far as work done from the lawyer's standpoint since he was appointed until, right about the beginning of January. And then we have, right before the hearing, there's a bunch of motion to continue that was granted. You've got a motion for cost for private investigator. You've got another motion for mitigation expert, things like that have been happening. So work is going on the lawyer's side. We know he's doing some work in the background, but nothing really is proceeding on according to Sarah Boone's perspective, because she apparently still is not being communicated with on a regular basis. The lawyer doesn't have to communicate with her constantly. We've talked about this before. You go to the doctor and you say, here are my symptoms. He's like, "All right, I'll get to work on that." The doctor gets to work on it. And he doesn't have to say, "Here's what I'm thinking, and now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go research here. I'm going to go look up this manual from my medical school, and he doesn't tell you all that. He just does the work. And then he says, "Here's your prescription," or "Here's what you need to do," or "I'm going to refer you to this person." The doctor's the expert. And you go and you present your symptoms, and they say, "This is what we're going to do." Sarah has a little control over that. Obviously, she gets to decide how she's going to plead in the case. That's not something that the lawyer can just determine on their own. She gets to decide if she wants to testify on her own behalf, which is why it's going to be absolutely crazy when she says, "Yes, I will." Even though she absolutely should not get on the stand. But anyway, it's... That's where we are. I think we're close. I want to start doing some searches here for the feed. If anybody has access, I'm looking at my mods here really quickly to see if they've said anything. Okay. trying to keep up to date on the mods. Let me know if there's something I need to do. If you got a question, mods. Post-trial, she can claim ineffective counsel. I think she has a strong case for this, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Florida, because she's had so many documented instances of not getting the support, of not knowing what's going on, not being communicated with, even to the point where the court had to say, hey, you've got to talk to her. By this date, by the 17th, you have to meet with her by the 17th of January. Tina P just gifted 5 memberships. Tina, thank you so much. I realize you'd like to be in court today. We'd love it if you were there too, but work calls. Looks like the memberships went to Nikita, Eileen Thurling, MB, All In, and Angie Burr. Congratulations to you guys on the memberships, and thank you very much, Tina, for your generous donation. 5 lawyers, yes, that's a lot. There are some that have more. There are some that have more, but 5 is a lot. And the fact that they've bailed because of differences. I mean, if every lawyer that she got assigned was said, hey, sorry, I can't. This is a conflict of interest for this reason or that reason. That's not a big deal. Those ones you can almost discount. But you start looking at that as well and saying, why are there conflicts of interest? Because she's been in the court system so many times. And sometimes as a defendant, and sometimes as the accused. There's this whole domestic violence thing. She's been on both sides of that, and both of them, I believe, spent some time, in the lockup as a result. And so we've got all these histories of the domestic violence. Mr. Upper-Torso says, if Sarah claimed battered woman syndrome and her lawyer represented George in a prior DV case, she could claim bias. But so long as the lawyer didn't use privileged knowledge, it's fair. Letitia Staunch, that starts Monday, right? Pittsburgh? I believe it starts Monday. And I'm looking very closely at that. That may be our next one. Sarah Boone isn't going anywhere. There hasn't been a trial yet. There can't be a claim of ineffective counsel. Everything can be worked around before trial. Once the trial starts, it's serious. Yeah, she can't fire the PD. The public defender is assigned by the court. The public defender can't even quit. If he quits, it's very bad for him. That's like quitting being an attorney. How many birthdays has she spent in jail now? Debbie, funny question. You're pointing out the fact that as in all her tracking of math, she did the math wrong and she added an extra year to how long she'd been there, which it probably felt like for her, but she had the dates a little bit wrong. Let's see. Who's the judge in the Sarah Boone trial? The judge is Frank Bankowitz. Oh, sorry, that's the attorney. The judge is Wooten. Let's see, where's Wooten's name? Wayne C. Wooten is the judge's name. So the actual hearing is going to be in room 6D on the 6th floor of the courthouse there in Orange County. And I'm trying to, let me do just a little homework here. We're going to play some music while I do that, just so you're not completely just left in silence. Missy Pants, slept in. Good morning, everyone. What's up for today? Short day. It is going to be a short day. We're just going to cover the Sarah Boone hearing this morning, hopefully live. Do have a call coming in here.
Call from
Paul.
Good morning, Thal. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Pretty good. You got time for a funny story, or are you busy?
Oh, I'm just searching the web for some links. Do you want music in the background, or do you want the undivided attention?
No, you can just kind of listen. I don't mind music in the background.
Yeah, go ahead. What's happening today?
Okay, so yesterday I got a hi. Oh, by the way, hi chat. I forgot to say that the last 6 times, and I get yelled at.
Hey, you've got to acknowledge them. They will not be ignored. They're like Terry Sanderson in that regard. That's an offense.
Yeah, and yes, chat. Tackle hugs to everybody. Love you all. Okay.
We love everybody.
Now,
good.
Now maybe I won't get yelled at so much.
If you do, it's Weather Watch's fault.
This is right. It is Weather Watch's fault, and don't let him off the hook either. Anyway, so I got the case in of cards in yesterday, right? And I was sorting through it.
Okay, so back up a little bit. We've got a few people on here who don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about collector's cards like Pokemon
Yeah, I was doing. It's called Flesh and Blood, and the reason it's called that, it sounds a little gross, but the reason it's called that is because they want you to play in person.
Okay.
So that's why they call it that. It's not some kind of creepy deal. It's because
it's a in-person card game.
Right, and they want to keep it that way forever. So, which actually is a really smart tactic, marketing and whatnot. Anyway. So the cards come in, and there's two kind of special cards. They're called rainbow foils, which sound exactly like you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
You shine them in the light, they're shiny, and they turn different colors. They're rainbowy, okay? And there's another one called cold foil. These make the foils on the items themselves in the border, and it makes it really pop. It makes the card pop really, really good. So it's really kind of beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the problem is it's hard to spot. Yes, that's rainbow foil. Exactly. So the thing is that I'm sorting through the cards and I take out all the really expensive ones. Okay. And we get up to now remember, chat, you guys will love this. This case cost me about $250. Okay. And we get up to about $100. I think it was $100 or $75 or $102 or something like that. Anyway, in $10 cards. So there's nothing in this case. That's 4 boxes I went through. I think it's like 100 packs. Nothing. There's nothing there.
Can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yes.
I just found the link for the hearing today, so we're good. Okay, now go on. Nothing in there.
They had nothing in there. So I'm thinking about throwing away the rest of the cards, right? Because they're junk. Can't sell them. They're worth 3 cents. Get rid of them. Who cares, right? Disappointed. Listening to you and just kind of pouting. You know what I mean? And then I think to myself, well, I better set the rest of the cards just in case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we should probably pull the foils out anyway, the rainbows anyway, because they might be worth something someday. So I go pulling them out, and I find this one cold foil. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I'll set it aside. I don't think anything of it. I go and sort in the rest of the cards. The cold foil I almost threw away, that cold foil I pulled, is a $250 card. It is the first of the set, and it is the rarest card in the set.
Man. Bingo, jackpot. You just hit it.
And I almost threw it away.
That's funny. Let's see.
So now when we go through a set now, okay, we go through it 3 times because I have old man stupid. So yes.
You don't want to throw away the $250 card.
No, that'd be bad. It'd be really bad.
Okay.
But anyway, that was my story. I don't know what else you got going on.
Most of this hearing. So I'm just. It looks like Fox 35 out of Florida is going to be carrying the hearing live. We've got a link to that feed, but the feed is down right now. They were just showing Mar-a-Lago. I can't even say that anymore. Which, we're not going to get into why they might be showing that. But pickle's not politics there. Thal, don't make me mute you. I'll do it.
Right. But my question about this thing is if we got so many lawyers that are having conflicts of interest, and she's been in the court system so many times, what is this going to do to a jury? Because not that a jury would guarantee to know her, but some of them might get excluded just purely by either seeing her, knowing her, or seeing her in trouble at some point, or knowing somebody that saw her in trouble. I mean, if she's that popular in that regard.
We might see a motion to move the trial. She is famous there. I mean, infamous a little bit, basically because she made herself famous. She's not a celebrity. She has no other reason for everybody to know her. It's just that her case, the facts of her case was so bizarre that the news, I mean, it's like spreads like wildfire, and everyone's like, have you heard what this woman did and what she said? And that's why she's famous. She's like, why does everyone else know about this? It's because everyone's like, holy cow, this is a live one. And that's why she's out there. So she's going to probably make that motion. I don't think the judge would grant that for a change of venue. I think they'll be able to find a jury that says, even if I do know about it, I can set that aside. Any preconceived notion, I can judge fairly based on the facts of the case. So I think that's going to go forward that way.
Oh, and I have a threat for you, there, recovery addict. If you do not behave yourself, and the chat deems it so, since I'm buying cases of cards at a time, I will send you a case of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because you've got 6 kids, and the cases come with 6 boxes.
Oh my
So we'll
goodness!
watch the ensuing chaos and laugh.
We'd have to open them all on a live stream too.
Yep, that'd be awesome. It would be funny too because we wouldn't. You poor guys wouldn't even know which cards was worth money or not. It'd be like, oh, look, a card.
Yeah, this one's shiny. Is that, yeah. Awesome. Well, so did you get through all your cards? Or you still have more left? You say
no, we got through 2 cases yesterday. I had to sort them, put them up for sale, brick the ones, and I'm sending 3 off for
grading.
Beckett grading.
Awesome.
Well, they're all worth. They're one's worth 100. The other 2 are worth 200 plus. So
awesome. I hope you do much better than break even. You deserve. You're putting in the hard work there. You've got the knowledge behind it. So I hope you hit the big time. And
or you know what we could do? I can send you a case of Pokemon, and then you could give it away to chat members when they make you happy.
I don't know if anybody. The audience here probably is not huge into Pokemon. We'll have to maybe do a poll and see if anyone even knows what we're talking about. But my kids are big into it, and so I know it from that. But
oh God, if I sent you a case, that'd be terrible. I'm so sorry. I was just kidding, but that was.
They'll play. They'll spread that out on the floor. We've got rugs in almost every room. We love the rugs because we have a hardwood floor in the house, and so we've got these rugs, and it just becomes a huge play mat. And there's cards and tokens. And, 4 people.
I'm not doing that. Miss RA would murder me. I'm not doing that. I'm putting my life in jeopardy now.
They love it. Awesome. Thank you very much, Thal. Good to hear from you.
Yep.
We'll see you, man.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
You'll see you.
All right. Kiko says, how did her interrogation get released? Isn't that unusual? Kiko, the reason it gets released is basically because it's out of Florida. Florida is one of those states that is big on sunshine, right? They call themselves the Sunshine State. It's not just the beaches, the sunshine. They are open to having their political and their legal system open to the public so people can see the sunshine can shine in. And you'll find that in many cases they're much more open than other states, and they'll say, yeah, you want to know about it? Here's what we have, type thing. That can be a problem, but at the same time, it's not completely uncommon for information like that to come out before trial. Let's see, we've got. I'm trying to get this Sarah Boone live stream ready. I don't know when the feed's going to start, but I want it open. I think Fox 35 is going to have it. I'm going to check WFLA. I think WFLA might usually cover that as well. I want to have a couple different sources. Okay, that's Mar-a-Lago. That's not it. I want to have a couple sources because sometimes the on hearings like this, they don't set up a pool camera. So in court, like we have in the last courts, we had a pool camera. We had the court TV was the pool camera. They had gathered all the cameras belonged to them, and then the feed got shared with everybody else. Debbie, this trial, is in Florida. It's in Orange County, Florida, for Sarah Boone. So pool camera. Think one cameraman with lots of connections to all the different people who want the feed. So that allows that. Then in a small hearing like this, there might be a lot of people interested, but it's not worth setting up all the cables and everything because it's going to be a 15-minute hearing, right? So the judge can say, yeah, we're going to let 4 cameras in. First 4 to show up, they get it. And so now you have 4 different cameras who all sort of have their own microphones and boom mics, and maybe somebody has a wireless mic taped on the podium or something. We've got all different audio systems, so I'm going to try to pull in the best of all of those so we can get the hearing and hear everything and watch everything as it happens. So that's why I have all this equipment so that I can give you everything that's available when it goes live. I think all the courts, even Supreme Court, should always be public view and streamed, especially our politicians. I'm a big fan of that as well. Now I realize there are like state secrets and things like that that sometimes get involved, but for the most part, I think the more open it is, the better it is. See, Thal says, I don't even know the characters, but I'm in it for the money, but I do know Pikachu. Let's see. We're good. Oh, man. Ivan's not feeling good. Dealing with the cold and the sick Rebel, or are you not feeling good, or just Rebel not feeling good? Hope everything is feeling better than us. It's that cold weather. You need to get some springtime up there in Wisconsin. Met Rebel on her YouTube last night. Hope you both get well soon. Rebel does have her own YouTube channel, managed by Ivan, at her request. So if you like watching Rebel, please check out Ivan Victor's YouTube channel. Okay, give me 10 seconds. I've got to do a little. We'll start the music again because that's what we had going. See, I see a lot of Pokemon comments on here. You will have to do the pool, like you said, Scott. Give me a second. Let's get all the feeds available. Not seeing them be live yet. Almost there. Starts at 10:45, Jill. We've got a little bit of time. 15 minutes. Song's over. We have to be done. I'm only finding a single feed, which I'm a little worried about. Hoping it goes live. I'd like to have a few more than that. Let's see. Have you ever listened to The Devil Makes 3? Same concept. Very, very good. No. Can you send it to me on the burner phone? Like just a link to it, or just the name, so I can find it after the live stream ends. I'll send you a box of Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. You can give them to the kids in chat if they want. They would love that. Can you give us a link for this music? It's called Press Fuse on the YouTube feed, but if you Shazam it while it's playing, there's actually a different song name that it's known by, and you can find it. It's royalty free, copyright free music on YouTube as well. So I can't share the link because the link's only available to content creators on YouTube. They don't let everybody see it. But if you Shazam it, then everyone can watch that video. Judge Wooten, famous for Mrs. Potato restaurant case. Witness rescued abused 12-year-old from stepdad after noticing bruises and passing note. Timothy Wilson got life. Yes, he's famous for that one. I think he's a great judge. I'm excited to look to see the case. Okay, Don't Stop the Music. That's the only song like that I have. Why is the music so accurate for this case? I don't know. It just seems to fit well. It sucks that YouTube really hammers these people with channels on music rights, especially background music when I'm watching car show on here and they have to have a short clip or talk over the music. That makes going live out in public a problem. And just on the legal side of it, there have actually been situations where police did not want to be filmed, and so they played music that they knew would get a copyright strike on the YouTuber's channel. So you've got live streamers who are trying to film the police, and they start blasting, Britney Spears or whoever it is that is not going to allow you to just use their music. Also send you one of the cold foils so you can see it and show chat if you want. They're very pretty. Thank you, Thal. Super excited. The kids will absolutely love it. The soundtrack. Yes. Thank you very much. Crixie Volkath. So if you liked the song that you just heard, Weatherwatch just put it up right here. If you search on YouTube for this song, Crixie Volkath. Sorry, that's the name of the song. It's a weird name, but it's good music. I think they actually have some other stuff that's similar. I'll have to search and see if there's some other songs we can do. Does anyone know or have kiddos with anxiety? Yeah. Hello, I'm here. Is Sarah Boone in jail or out on bail? She's been in jail for 3 years, Teresa. 3 years she's been arrested back in. Let's see, Fox 35 says you're live now. Let me check that one. Wait for the feed to refresh on my end. Just 1 second. Okay, here we go. We have a courtroom. You guys see this? So here's the courtroom. Make sure we have audio coming in. We're good on that. Check the feed. Got volume. It's actually not Mar-a-Lago as it shows. Volume's up. Okay, we're all set to go. So we're gonna have this. We're gonna have it as it comes live. We're going to be watching the wall just for a minute while they get ready. Let's go to a 3 box. Okay. If anyone has another feed, Sarah Bailey, you're from Orlando, Florida. Awesome. If anyone has any other feeds they are able to find that are different than the one we're seeing here from Fox 35, please let me know if there's another channel that's sending it. I'm not familiar with all the news stations in the area, and there's a good chance another station that typically covers trials has a camera there, and it will be a little bit different. It might have different audio, which is very critical in case one camera audio fails. I like to have a backup, but if you can send that to me in chat or something, that'd be great. Kevin, can you type burner in chat, !burner, and text me that to the burner about the supervillains on YouTube? I'd like to see if there's other music options. And Nikita says, I have a stupid question. No stupid questions. How are 911 calls permitted in trials? There we go. Hey, she's here already. Whoa. So Sarah Boone is there, and she's super happy to be there. Look at that smile. This must be Bankowitz. She's like, who are you? How are 911 calls permitted in trials? Doesn't come with a Miranda rights reading. Wouldn't it be against the defendant's rights? No, when they're in custody, those unless they are talking with their lawyer, they're told that all those calls are recorded and can be monitored. So they have a warning, and they're told that they have no expectation of privacy in that. She has changed her appearance quite a bit. We're not getting any audio yet. Yeah, thank you, DH2. I understood what you said. I didn't put it up on the screen, but I appreciate that. There's her body language is so big and the camera angle is so good. We're going to get in trouble, actually. Not us, but everyone's going to be able to read her lips. They should not be zooming in on that. Yeah, they could zoom in to get a focus, and you focus on their eyes. That's camera trick. You want the eyes to sparkle, but you should not be zooming in and reading her lips while she's talking to her attorney, which is clearly what she's doing here. She's been in jail for 3 years. She has noticed the camera. She's gained weight and cut her hair. She's doing a lot of talking, which is interesting, because this is the lawyer that should be talking to her right now. Okay, so this is the first time we've seen her in quite a while. This is pretty interesting. As soon as we get audio from the courthouse, I'm excited for that. But there are two cases slotted for the same time at 10:45, which so we've got several minutes before that begins. But we're not sure if hers is going to be first or after. What number lawyer is this for her? Public defender number 5, I believe. Chris? She's talking because she has a lot to say and trying to fit in while she has him in front of her. Yeah, captive audience right now. He really can't do anything. I'm not surprised. I would expect nothing less. Let's see if the attorney leaves the room or something to get away, because she has to stay there. She can't follow him around. Okay, Michelle, allegedly she killed her boyfriend. No, here's what we know. She is not disputing that she put her boyfriend in a suitcase and zipped it shut and that he died. Those facts are not in dispute. She is disputing that she meant for him to die when she put him in the suitcase and he died. Now, also in contrast to that argument that she's holding out is the video that she filmed after she put her boyfriend in the suitcase and before he died, as he's begging, saying, "Sarah, I can't breathe. Let me out. Sarah, please, Sarah." And she's saying, "That's my name. This is how I feel when you choke me. This is how I feel when you cheat on me." And the suitcase gets flipped around. There are different times it's been moved around while he's in it. You can't see any air holes at all. And she just goes upstairs and goes to bed. And 11 o'clock the next day, she comes down and is like, "Oh, where's George? Oh no, he's still in the suitcase." And then she pulls him out, tries to straighten him out. Rigor mortis is already set in, I think. And she says she does CPR. I'm not sure if there's going to be any evidence that shows that she did, but that's what she says. She was more concerned about her drink that was on the counter than about him, I think. Yes, the WFO Carter 84. The court system, had she not waived her right to a speedy trial, which she did back in September. I'm trying to remember the actual charge date, but she waived her right to a speedy trial back in September, and then had she not done that, she probably would have been at trial within about 90 days, which is fairly speedy for a murder trial. But since she waived that, then everyone gets to take pretty much as much time as they need to prepare their case. And the state needs a lot of time to gather all their evidence and interview everybody and get ready and calendaring issues. It just becomes, it's not on the front burner when she waives the right. It's like, okay, we'll take care of that when we can. And a lot of times it takes a long time. Add to that fact, all her different attorneys, every time she got a new attorney, they're like, okay, well, I'm new on the case. It's basically starting over for me. Give me a little while to get my feet under me. And they do that. And they're like, oh, guess what? conflict of interest. I just found out. I was flipping through page 700, and one of the witnesses is a previous client. And then they're gone. And then next one comes on the case and starts flipping through. He's like, oh, this case. Yeah, I argued against her when George was suing her for domestic assault. Okay, you're off the case, And so there's that. I don't think they overcharged her. She's only going for second-degree murder. They're not going to try to prove premeditated. But I think what they've got, they have to have intent. Intent has to be there for the second degree. But they can prove that she had intent by the fact that he was telling her that he couldn't breathe, that he couldn't get out. There was no evidence that he could get out. She responded the way she did on the video. We have her voice. Her words are going to be used against her. And then she went upstairs, and she intended to go upstairs knowing that he was in that situation. That's the moment they're going to say that was the intent. And intent only has to exist for a split second. Glad you can be here. Let's see. They can check if she had tried CPR, bruises of the heart. I agree. There are going to be signs that the medics on scene can definitely tell if the story she told to the police when they arrived and the fire department when they arrived is accurate. Last poet, I don't think he can get her a deal because she does not want a deal. She wants to prove her case. She wants to talk to the jury directly and say, hey, here's the judge. There's Wooten. She wants to talk to them directly and say, hey, let me plead my case. Let's see if we get some audio here. Please give me some audio. There we go. Boom. It's only the right channel. It's only coming through right channel, so if you can't hear, you might have to listen in headphones. I'm going to turn down the sound effects for this briefly.
There's nothing in here about supervised visitation.
Oh, no, but that's what was in the motion.
Okay. Let's make that clear.
Okay.
Okay, we weren't supposed to hear that, but it sounds like she has some questions about supervised visitation from her kids.
All right, Ms. Cooper and Mr. George, are we ready to call up Michelle Rodriguez?
That's a different case for today. Okay. So this is not the one we're waiting for.
Let's go ahead and call that case, please, Madam Clerk.
State of Florida versus Michelle Rodriguez, 2022 CF 12768. State of Florida.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank George on behalf of the state.
Mary Jane Cooper on behalf of Ms. Rodriguez.
This one comes before
All
Sarah
right,
Boone.
we're here on a motion to modify conditions of pretrial release. Specifically, what is it, Ms. Cooper, are you hoping to modify?
Judge, she's been on conditional release, and she's been required to take tests. And every time she takes a test, it's $17. She has to pay for transportation. She's had a lot of difficulty with that. She's had, I think it says in the motion, she's had 8 tests, all of which were negative. Her PO had no objection. The state had no objection. So that's the first thing that we're addressing. The second was if she could have supervised visitation of the minor child, which is the alleged victim in this case. The state previously was objecting, but let me know this morning that he is no longer objecting to supervised visitation.
This case they're talking about here before Sarah's is a neglected child, great bodily harm.
Let me take a look.
Case.
As to the, well, let me ask this, Mr. George. What's the theory
Did you guys notice that her attorney is using a walker?
or abuse that's in play in this case?
Yeah.
Your Honor, this child was born with some medical issues. He was born with seizures, and he had an esophageal issue that required surgery. He was in the hospital for approximately 2 weeks or so before being released to the parents. What brought the child back to the hospital, apparently, at least according to both would-be defendants, is that the child woke up with its tongue kind of sticking out of its mouth and frozen. And they Googled how to fix that, and they managed to do that. When the child was brought to the hospital, however, about 5 hours later, they realized that the child had multiple skull fractures that required immediate surgery. Speaking with the surgeon, the child had both old and new fractures. Dating them is relatively hard to do. But the theory of the neglect in this case, Judge, is that there was a video taken of this child 5:30 in the afternoon, the day before he was brought to the hospital, and it's obvious, I believe, that this child was in distress at that moment and should have received medical care. Even if I'm wrong on that, the fact of the matter is when they woke up the next morning, the child had not eaten. Apparently the child had not defecated. And they noticed the physical impairments of the child in terms of the tongue. They still waited another almost 5 hours before bringing him to the hospital. As to the visitation issue, Judge, the state was ready to object to this. I did speak with somebody at DCF yesterday, and apparently they have granted supervised visitation to the father, who apparently now lives out of state.
So everything you're hearing, this is not Sarah Boone's case. This is the case coming before. It sounds very disturbing as well.
Maybe blind.
This
They're
is
not quite sure.
Not Sarah Boone. I mean, Sarah Boone's on screen,
When
but
they do a
that's
light
not who
test,
they're talking about.
the
It's a
child
different-
eventually
different
follows or appears to follow the light, but it's very delayed. He's 7 months old. He's still nonverbal. He cannot sit up on his own. He cannot move around on his own. He's still being fed through a tube. He goes through physical therapy almost daily. The way that they, I guess, facilitated visitation with the father is
Sarah Boone is on screen. Her
medical
lawyer
foster
is there with the
parent,
walker, but the audio you're hearing
brought
is
the
another
child
lawyer
to the Oviedo Mall
in a hearing that
to
precedes Sarah
allow the
Boone's.
father to see.
I'm gonna slowly turn down the audio here because it's first of all it's very disturbing. But give me just 1 second here. Looking at the schedule for this morning, this is the 10:30 schedule for Mr. Wooten was this Michelle Rodriguez. That's what you're hearing argued right now. Following him, Domingo Hernandez is at 10:45, as is Sarah Boone, and then a third one of Malachi Lamar Thomas, all scheduled for Judge Wooten here in this courthouse. And this is what he does with these pretrial hearings. He sort of stacks them on top of each other. So we're waiting for whenever he calls the Sarah Boone case, and that will happen here.
Because this child was born with.
It's not wrong to air this. This is open to the public for the same reason that Sarah Boone's is open to the public, so we can air this audio. It's just it's not relevant to the case.
As opposed to after. Certainly, I don't believe both parents.
Yeah. This Lily girl, I was blown away when I saw Frank. I know he's dealt with COVID. This is Mr. Bankowitz there with the walker. He looks very fragile. I don't know if he's up to defending a murder trial. That's concerning to me. That's her lawyer with the walker. That's Frank J. Bankowitz.
And I believe that would be the lower case number, which is why I was assigned to vote.
He does look pretty ill. Dean, the videos you're talking about, the Sarah Boone videos, Sarah Boone is accused of murdering her boyfriend, George, after a game of hide and seek gone wrong. She says they were, drinking, they were having fun, and then other times she says they weren't drinking, so it depends which part of the story you believe. But she said we were doing puzzles, we were playing games, we decided to play hide and seek, and she hid in the shower or something, and then she's like, oh, you should hide in the suitcase, I'll zip you up in the suitcase, ha ha ha, zips him up, and then doesn't let him out. Instead, there's some belief that she zipped him into the suitcase upstairs, and then the suitcase managed to go down the stairs. That might be an explanation for how a lot of the injuries occurred to George's body, the blunt force injuries to the body. But she left him in there and filmed. Let's see here.
Makes sense.
She left him in there and filmed on her phone and sort of berated him as he was begging and pleading for air, pleading to be let out.
All right, let's go ahead and call up Miss Boone's case.
There it is.
State of Florida versus Sarah Boone, 2020 CF 2603. State of Florida.
Andy Cacciatore on behalf of the state.
Defense.
Frank Bankowitz.
Let's go ahead and swear Ms. Boone in.
May you please raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Morning, ma'am. Tell me your name and your date of birth.
Sarah Boone, October 10th, 1977.
All right, we're here for pretrial conference today. Mr. Cacciatore, where do you stand in preparing to proceed forward to trial?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Banquets, where do you stand in regards to preparing for trial?
The defense is not ready. We're requesting a continuance. We are having difficult time finding an expert who's willing to work for the JAC rates. And so I'm still it's an essential part of the case, basically. It's never been initiated before by any of the prior attorneys that I'm aware of.
In broad terms, what's the nature, what's the field?
Spouse defense.
Okay.
Statutorily, we have to give the state notice, sufficient time, and name of the expert and the essential elements that they'll be testifying to.
Okay. Mr. Cacciatore, what's your position in regard to the defense request for continuance?
I would have no objection to another role.
So, Mr. Banquets, how deeply have you plumbed the depths of the pool of experts in this field to find out or find one who's willing to work for the JAC rate?
Well, I've actually talked to 3, and but they don't have contracts with JAC and are not willing to work with JAC. And I've made some other inroads with battered women's shelters, trying to get their psychologists, who'd be willing. Problem is willing to testify, basically.
Okay. Because of the concern about the compensation rate for testimony?
Well, that's one of the things. And to be honest with you, this case has had so much notoriety that people don't want to be involved.
Okay. So, Mr. Banquets, I'm certainly willing to give you additional time based on my understanding of the case. I understand why that would be a defense the defense would want to explore about potentially presenting. What I'm not sure about is whether the inability to find an expert forever delays the trial of the case.
I wouldn't expect it to be a forever delay, Judge. And you know me better than that.
Mr. Cacciatore, well, I just want to make sure everyone in the room understood that, I'll give reasonable amounts of time to prepare a defense. The defendant's entitled to an adequate defense, but they're not necessarily entitled to the exact defense they would prefer to have if resources were unlimited. So, Mr. Cacciatore, remind me, where are we as far as lining up your various homicide cases for trial? I know we have some things set to go to trial in the June trial period.
Yes, we have both Mr. Herlong and Mr. Sowell set for then. And then as far as this trial period, we have Mr. Hall and potentially Mr. Ofori as well. If I could ask of the defense, because I think it would make a difference in the timing of the continuance in this case. Does the defense intend to hire an expert to testify generally as to the precepts and the things that go along with battered spouse syndrome, or do they intend to hire an expert that will evaluate Mrs. Boone and want to comment on her directly? And the reason I ask that is because I think the case law is clear that if it's the latter thing, then the state is entitled to have her sit down with our own expert to be evaluated as well. So that would obviously take more time if that is going to be the path they're going to go.
Mr. Banquets, are you in a position
Number
to distinguish?
Number two is definitely what we're looking at, Judge. Although number one would be incorporated in that as far as their general ability and their expertise in the area.
Would you agree that if in fact you retain an expert and they're going to opine specifically on Ms. Boone's state of mind at the time of the incident, that opens the door for the state to also have an expert? All right.
Most definitely.
So here's what I am, and Mr. Castro, let me ask you this. Let's say that turns out not to be an issue. We're not going to have two experts. How long would it otherwise take you to present your case? Just rough idea.
I would say 3 days.
And other than this potential defense, Mr. Bankowitz, and is that including jury selection, Mr. Cacciatore?
No, I probably 3.5 days with jury selection.
All right. And Mr. Bankowitz, other than this potential defense, if we picked a jury in 1 day, the state presented their case in 2.5 days, how long do you anticipate a defense presentation would be at this point?
I'd say at least 3 days.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I'll grant the continuance. I'm thinking continuing out to the July 11th pretrial, July 24th trial period.
How long is that trial period, Judge? I have a time-certain death penalty case in Lake County starting the second week in August.
That's a 3-week trial period, so it would be the week starting Monday, July 24th, Monday, July 31st, and then the last week of the trial period would be Monday, August 7th.
That's when I'm scheduled to start picking a jury in Lake County.
Well, let's do this. I want to set it for that date. That way you'll have a much better idea of what's actually happening on your death penalty case in Lake County. I understand that they're priority cases, but I also know that they're the cases where if a problem comes up, no matter what a judge has said before, they're likely to allow the case to move because they don't want to try it twice.
Just to advise the court, this case had to be continued at the last minute because of one of the attorney's wives basically had a stroke. And so it was a week before we were scheduled to start in that case. But Judge Davis up there, now that has, I won't say resolved itself, but is in a better position. Judge Davis has advised all of us that we're going, quote, come hell or high water.
See, I try not to say things like that because I feel like I'm just tempting fate.
Well, that's just Lake County, Judge. What do you expect?
Well, having never worked there, it means nothing to me. So, I'll grant the continuance, July 11th pretrial, July 24th trial period, and let's go ahead and do this. While I'm giving July 11th as the date, let's go ahead and have the lawyers reach out to my judicial assistant and just like we did this time, schedule
a status
separate, unique date for pretrial so that I have y'all have my undivided attention when we talk about the case. I don't have 97 other lawyers tapping their fingers waiting to get to me.
Sounds good, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Ms. Boone, we return to the Orange County Jail pending further order of the court. And Mr. Bankwitz, you can electronically file the motion to continue.
Yes, sir, we will.
And the court minutes will say it's granted. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. That concludes the.
Rob, do I have Mingo Hernandez and Malachi Thomas on the way?
Okay, that concludes the hearing for Sarah Boone. I didn't want to interrupt anything because I wanted all that audio uncut so we could hear what happens. In the middle of that, Sarah McGahey Sarah McGahey says, Flattery Friday, you're my favorite YouTube commentator. That is all. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah, for that. I appreciate that. Lily Girl as well. Thank you for doing all the extra things you do for us. Glad to do that. Glad to be here with you, Lily Girl. Here's what we learned in that. Let me bring this up so we can talk about it, because I think there were some important bits that we heard during the back and forth, even though there was disappointing news. First of all, foremost, everything we were waiting for, we wanted the no continuance, the trial's going forward April 10th. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, it's been pushed off to summer, which may come right around the same time as BK. The awful news for me is that I won't sleep. I'll have to do one trial during the day and the other trial at night if that happens, because we're going to cover this case. So the dates they went with, was a pretrial hearing, another hearing just like this one on July 11th, and then trial is going to start on July 24th, or right about those dates. They might push that just a tiny bit. Also, there's going to be a status hearing like this one beforehand, so it won't be a crowded hearing. They'll be able to address everything. Now, the state is ready to go. They say, we're ready. We can try this case. Half a day for jury selection, which means we're not anticipating trouble selecting a jury. Half a day is pretty quick. We can find people in this county. There's going to be no motion to move to a new venue or change of venue. And they say 3 days to try the case, and we'll be good. Defense says it takes us about 3 days as well, other than the fact that we've got this expert we're trying to round up. The expert is going to be a battered wife expert, and they haven't been able to find one. Now realize they generally, I believe in previous filings in other courts, the amount of money the JAC rates, the judicial, I forget what the JAC stands for, but it's like a standard rate. It's like the government pays a certain rate when you have a public defender. Any expert witness you have has to be approved by the court because the government's paying for your defense up front. You can't just have like a $12 billion expert who comes in and testifies and then expect the government to pay the bill. So they have to run any expense before the judge first. That generally runs around $10,000. They've been granted $10,000 to pay for an investigator, a special investigator to investigate stuff. So about $10,000. And they says, I've looked for one and no one will touch the case. They won't touch the case for $10,000. They don't want anything to do with Sarah Boone. They don't want to testify on Sarah Boone's behalf. It looks bad. This is like, because there's, what would you have to say to basically testify in Sarah Boone's defense? They're looking at that and saying, there's no way. I can't twist how I look at this and paint her in a good light. That's what I'm hearing. That's the vibe I'm getting from what we're hearing there. So the state's ready to go. Defense is not. They're going to be given a little more time, a couple more months to put this together. Justice Administrative Commission. Thank you very much, JK, for that. But it's standard rate. It's like imagine in healthcare, it's like the Medicare rate for what's paid for services. It's set by the government. It's set by Florida, in this case, for the county in Orange County, and nobody will work for that. They want more money than what they'll pay, saying if you want me to do that, it's going to cost you more. So we'll see. They may not get the expert they want. That's what the judge said. Look, I'll give you some more time, but you might have to move forward without the defense you would like. You would love to have an expert that will testify, exactly what you want. You might not find that. So that's it. It sounds like he's not going to let this go too much further. I was completely surprised by the appearance of Mr. Bankiewicz as far as his age and his level of decrepitness. The guy's got one foot in the grave. He's barely hanging in there. He's got the walker and he's hunched over and everything. It's just, it's astounding that he's alive at all. But it sounds like I didn't hear any objections about trying to get off the case. As far as being removed from the case, he's sort of dropped that. Once he raised it once, the judge said no, he's good that way. It sounds like Sarah Boone accepted at least that this was going to be the outcome. So I'm pretty sure that they had some back and forth beforehand, so she knew that that's what was going to happen. A few more months. She doesn't want to wait at all, but a few more months. Realize that the defense that that Mr. Bankiewicz wants to put on for this battered wife defense, saying, yes, I did it, but I was driven to because I was abused by, the battered spouse defense. Sorry, I don't think they were married, but it applies. They were boyfriend, girlfriend living together. That is not the defense where she says it wasn't intentional. So you're going to have her coming to to trial with Mr. Bankiewicz saying, yes, she did it, but she was battered. These are the reasons. This is why she shouldn't be found guilty of this charge, possibly a lesser charge, and have it lowered. But at the same time, I think she still feels it wasn't intentional. And when the judge looks to her and says, hey, do you want to testify in your own defense? And an attorney's going, no, don't do it. She's going to be like, yeah, I do. My story still has not been told. You hear my lawyer up here saying I was battered, but this wasn't intentional. I think she's going to take the stand. I think she's not going to be able to be talked out of that. And I think I bet Adam Nusky, was it you that I bet a mug too? If she doesn't take the stand, you get a free mug, something like that. I imagine the defense lawyer would have been a bit younger, says Michelle Johnson. Horseshoe and bananas. What happens if her attorney's health declines in the meantime and he's not able to represent her? That happens. You have, emergencies happen. His health has been, a subject he fell and he hurt his back. He got the Rona, whatever it was, he's had issues that have delayed it already. And if something else happens where he's not able to proceed, he's not able to practice, then she gets a new lawyer and there's another continuance. And we could be into, next year at that point. Maybe Sarah Boone could take herself up as her own battered woman expert and land that $10,000 for herself. She'd need a little bit more training to do that, I think. That might be hard to pull off. JT just sent me something. Oh, yeah, you've got the member profile from the Florida bar, which has the reprimands, I believe, on him, the 10-year discipline history. So it sounds like he may have escaped from this right now, that he's actually seeing her. We talked a little bit about those reprimands. Sarah Boone mentioned those two reprimands in the letter that we read earlier, a couple years apart. One was a tax-related one was a failure to communicate with the client. It sounds like at least they're talking now, just not as much as Sarah would like. Otherwise, she wouldn't be writing to him and to the judge. So she's still not at the place where she wants. KKD says, I think that the battered wife experts are easier to find than suitcase experts. I think Sarah's best defense would be that the suitcase manufacturer failed to include an easy escape mechanism. Yeah, let's sue them for damages, because clearly, we're not accountable for any of our own actions, right? Oh man, she will take the stand. She almost has to do it. I agree. You hear that in every letter she writes. She wants so much for her voice to be heard directly, like in her words. She wants so much, and she feels that she does really well at everything she does. And so I think she's going to look at that and say, I can convince the jury. I can look them in the eye and say it's not intentional, and they'll believe me. They'll believe me and say, yeah, I understand. It was just a game gone wrong. Complete accident. Sorry, go ahead and go home. Not going to happen, I don't think. Let's see. More questions. I'm trying to answer all of them. If you tag me like Nikita did here, that's the easiest way for me to find you. I will say that if you like following the Sarah Boone trial, and if you want to find someone who will follow that, you've come to the right place. I'm committed to do that. So I would love it if you do subscribe to the channel, because we will keep you updated on everything, like we did with the letter that just came out this last week. As new developments come, even if it's outside of the court hearings, we'll be following those as well. Nikita says, recovery addict, if one plans to commit a crime, especially murder, make sure he can afford good lawyers, teams, and experts. Yes, that should be your first concern. Just don't commit the crime, Nikita. Don't commit the crime. Michelle says, do you know if Florida has common law marriage there? I know some states say if you've been living together for more than a year, you can claim common law marriage. I don't. I know Texas. Matthew Harris has taught me about Texas a little bit. Not sure on Florida's statute there. I don't think whether or not they were married is really going to be a factor here. I think their status of living together is enough that, and the history, because they do have years of history going in and out of court with violence and things like that, unfortunately. And the neighbors will testify that too. I think there's enough to establish that they were basically married. So if common law, I'm pretty sure they can prove common law if that's on the books there. Surprised there's no co-counsel. Yes, I wonder, does he at least have like a paralegal or something to help? Play the Vallow audio. I have not pre-heard the Vallow audio, and I hesitate to just dive right in and play everything. But there are a couple guys they're doing a great job on that already. I'm not sure if I could give it the justice it deserves. I'm going to start listening though, and we might have to catch up on that. Depends how it goes. So what now? What next? What are we watching? Virtual Juror Christie, maybe Staunch, maybe Letitia. Give me the weekend to decide. We will have a case on Monday that we'll be following for sure. It would be easy for her. Don't forget, she's great at everything. That's what she testified to, or at least that's how she responded in the deposition or her interrogation. She was a straight A student, Lindsay. You're right. Let's see. No common law marriage in Florida. Thank you, DH to the JD. I don't think that'll be a factor for her defense. I really don't. I don't think it has to be, and I'll have to look at the law, but I don't think it has to be a marriage for that to take place. I think they can prove enough of a relationship that existed without the marriage law. And Brandy, thank you very much for that as well. A couple of you can come back with the answer. Good to have Brandy here. For those that don't know, Brandy is amazing to follow on Twitter as well as on YouTube. I highly recommend it. She does a great job tracking just the facts of a case, getting things put together in a way that's just easy to understand and follow, especially when we start dealing with timelines and pings of cell phones and a whole bunch of different facts that seem to be scattered. She draws it together and does a great job. So big shout out to Brandy. Glad to have you here for sure. Love to have Brandy call in. What do you think, Brandy? Are you able to call in on the burner phone? Not to twist your arm or anything. Love to hear what you think about this. You being down in Florida. I'm so excited for all the justice this year. It's all coming at the same time is the problem. The justice is all slated for the summer. No Florida common law. Thank you. Can you publish the 2 police reports for everyone? Goodman Law. Are you talking about Sarah Boone's? Let me tell you here's what I'd recommend. I'm going to share with everyone how I access Sarah Boone's documents, because I think everyone in the country, all the courts in the country, should follow this example, because Orange County does such a good job here. I'm gonna type it in chat, and then I'm gonna walk you through it. So I've got a link in chat, and let me pull this up here just briefly. We'll put it right over here, full screen. Okay, here we go. So this is how we get the information, Nicole. Out of you probably know this. Nicole's an attorney, so I go to that link that I just posted in chat, and it's the Orange County Courts. And if whatever page it comes up, you click on record search, right? Up on the top. Record search comes up with a menu where you can put in a first name, and I type in Sarah, and you can put in a last name, and I type in Boone. The only other thing you have to do is pass the CAPTCHA test and say you're not a robot. Sometimes it will ask you to click on pictures of stoplights and cars
Danny
and bridges
Masterson,
and everything else.
Lots of drama, BC of Scientology.
Then you click search. It's going to pull up all the Sarah Boone records. Okay, and it's going to have a couple, and I think if you scroll down in here, you'll see that there are some that are closed. If you look down here, but we're looking for the one that is open right here with Judge Wooten. It's a criminal felony case. It's the second one down, usually on the report. You can click on that, and then it's going to open up everything for the trial. You've got all the information about the trial as far as the charge. We've got second-degree murder, the statute. She's pled not guilty. The arrest date, things like that up at the top, the defendant's name, and then down below. This list, it's got a little key on the top for what documents are public in green, non-public, VOR, confidential, sealed, all that, request pending. And then you have everything. So we've got, let me scroll up to the top, sorry. Why is it not scrolling? Give me a second. Let's see, this is the latest stuff. So 7/24 is the hearing. That was just plugged in. We just heard that today. That's the July 24th date. That's the trial. We've got pretrial the 11th. The hearing for today was canceled. For 410 was canceled. Sorry, the trial for 410 was canceled because we had the hearing today with a motion to continue. There's the comments from the court saying the state's ready, defense needs more time, all that. And then you've got correspondence filed from the defendant to the judge. This is going to be the letters from Sarah Boone, and you can click on those and pull them up and watch this. You can just scroll through. There is pages and pages and pages of all this history, motion to withdraw. Every time a lawyer tries to leave the case, it's in there. And you can go all the way back to the very beginning of all the notices and subpoenas and records, and there's a ton here. It's all available all the way from the very first complaint. So that's what I recommend if you like documents. This is a good one to learn on. It's a good case to learn on because the documents, Florida does a great job releasing documents and making them available very quickly, as they have in this case as well. So that's a fun one to learn. More questions. First of all, super chat from Amber's Glass, Denny Masterson. Lots of drama because of Scientology. We'll have to look at that one and see if we can. We'll see. I wish we could cover them all, really. Is there a way to cover all the trials? You can file as domestic partners at best. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Also, Legal Minds here in chat. Jen Lou says, recovered ex. I'm committed to this trial too. We don't have common law marriage in Florida unless you came from a state that recognizes it. So they have like reciprocity. I can't say that word. It's a reciprocity. I add an extra R. Reciprocity. Is that it? It's where the law in one state is recognized in another state, even if it's a little bit different. It's like getting married in Nevada and still being married in Utah when you come back. Most states allow that. If she's found guilty, is it mandatory that she, Sarah Boone, be given credit for time served? Yes. If the sentence is anything less than life in prison, you're going to get credit for time served because she's already served time for this crime. She's been arrested for this crime. So yeah, if her sentence is less than life, they're going to calculate that and say credit for 3 years time served or whatever it is, how many days, how many hours, whatever it is. There's nothing to watch now. We could take a look at the Sarah Boone interview. Here, options in chat. We could, Lisa. Here's the catch. I've got a podcast tonight that I have to get ready for. I've got my son's taxes I have to help him with today, and actually a couple sons that have to do taxes, and so we've got a few things I've got to do. So we're going to probably break for lunch here in just a little while, and give you guys the afternoon off. There is so much to watch in this case. The videos, we've done videos quite a bit about Sarah Boone, all the different letters. Hey, Brandy's calling in. Give me a second here. Hey, Brandy. Are you there?
Hi. I'm here.
Wonderful. This is Brandy Churchwell. I called you out. I'm not sure what was on your schedule today. Thanks for taking the moment to call.
That's all right.
Calling from Florida. This is almost in your backyard.
Yes, it's not too far from me, which is kind of why I've had an eye on it the whole time. And it's crazy because all the wild stuff happens in Florida. You see all the Florida man and Florida woman headlines all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's not really surprising that this one is, but I think that's kind of why I've enjoyed following some of the other wild cases because it makes me feel a little bit better that not everything crazy happens in Florida. So
right. It's funny that I don't think Florida is crazier than the rest of the states, right? I'm not trying to throw you guys under the bus. I just think that Florida, with the Sunshine Law, with how open they are and how easily police records and body cam and everything just is given out to anybody who asks for it, we just hear about it more. There are other states that are so secretive about anything that happens in court. They're like, no, these doors are meant to be sealed. No one shall know what happens inside type thing. And so we have a lot of crazy stuff that happens that just never makes it to the light of day. And so, because Florida is so ripe for that, we focus on it more. But
yes,
let's see. I'm trying to get.
I have a new project coming up.
What is that?
And I am I'll release a promo video for it on Monday, but it's kind of been little secret project that I've been working on. Actually, JT Brews Crime at JT Brews Crime on Twitter. He's in your
he's in
chat right now.
Yep,
I think actually,
yeah.
He and I and there's another girl that we work with. Her Twitter is Amanda_PI. She's real good at investigative, detective work. She's better than Google. So the three of us are working on.
Google goes to her for information.
Yes, exactly. And, and she could, give them a run for their money. So, but we're working on something. I know that you've, of course, heard about everything going on with Trent in Brunswick with the torture allegations and, the videos and stuff like that. Well, that's all in Glenn County. And there's actually another kind of huge injustice that happened in Glenn County that we're going to be covering. A old friend of mine was murdered in 2009. Her and there was 8 of them total, all in one house in one night. They were beat to death, and her cousin is serving time for it. But but I know he's innocent. There's a lot of dirtiness that went into the trial and into the investigation. And so we're working on the podcast to kind of bring all of that to light. So.
Wow. So you're going to post this both on your Twitter and on your YouTube page. I've got the YouTube page pulled up right now. But you're very active on Twitter. Love following.
Yes.
There's a lot of this. These are heavy cases. How do you go from one to another and just stay positive? What's your secret?
It's hard. I mean, like, I know that people can probably tell I disappear for a day or so at a time sometimes. And, when one heavy one ends, I do try to take a little bit of a mental health break and, step back. And, even when the ones get too heavy during the day, like, yesterday I was working on this one that we're about to do the promo on Monday. And, so yesterday I took about an hour and a half and went down and laid out at the beach and, try to step away from it for a minute and get some sunshine and happiness and then go back to the heavy stuff. But it can be a lot to deal with all at once. So.
Yeah. Let me do this. If I can give you some temporary mod rights, can I have you put your link for Twitter, in chat? I think I just made you a mod there that should allow you to do that. If you can put your link for your YouTube and Twitter, just all your contact details. Highly recommend Brandy Churchwell on all the social media. She is a true crime addict. She has her own following of I think you call them the 13th Jurors and the Wine Moms, and just a great group. Some of which you've brought over here, and they're just a wonderful addition. I appreciate all the people you've sent my way.
Thank you.
You do great.
And congratulations on the 10,000. I'm so excited that we got to see that happen.
For a brief while, I'm going to be ahead of you, and I know you're just going to overtake me in a heartbeat. You're gung-ho and do so well at what you do. I'm excited, but thank you very much. So we will follow that. The Trent case, oh my goodness, reading that was difficult to...
Yeah.
The abuse of somebody who appeared, was looking for friends and instead was tortured type thing. And
yeah,
it's heartbreaking. It is awful. And there are allegations of cover-ups and, because of powerful people involved or children involved with people that might have been, have some power. Hopefully the sunshine shines on that case and everything comes to light, which I think is important for justice. But
I hope so.
All right. Thank you very much. Is there anything else going on? Anybody you wanted to give a shout out to? You got JT already. Is there somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thanks. I have so many of, the chat members here that have come over to my YouTube and, and my Twitter and just giving me love and support. So I see y'all and I try to respond to all the comments, but I don't get to everybody, but I do try and I see it. And I just wanted to say, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all been so supportive and so helpful. So I love it.
I'll warn you, it just gets harder. I'm not getting much sleep trying to respond to all the comments that come in. So it just gets harder and harder. Got to find a way to do that. But this is, Brandy, as you know, this is the best community on the internet. This little pocket of the internet that we both reside in has just some amazing people. And I'm so excited to share some of that corner with you there. So thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on short notice.
Thank you so much for having me, and I will let you know when the promo video comes out on Monday.
Awesome. Sounds great. We'll see you, Brandy.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Brandy is great. As you can tell, just listening to her, she does a great job. You'll definitely want to go check out her YouTube. The YouTube linked, it looks like the Twitter link didn't come across, but if you go to Twitter and search for Brandy in Church, all one word, right here on Twitter, that'll pull up her account, and you'll see that her little icon and everything, and that'll get you there. But appreciate that. That one works right there. There's YouTube. That one's working. All right. Can you ask Brandy where her accent is from? She might be able to respond in chat. I let her go too soon, I guess. I didn't watch for your questions. I'm a bad host. I apologize. I get so nervous when people are on. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's when Matthew calls in, he's always the best dressed lawyer, and seeing him on, I get nervous and feeling self-conscious. When Nicole calls in, she's so much smarter about the law than I am. I just want to sit there and listen and take notes. And Brandy is phenomenal as well with her skills and organization. I aspire to one day have a fraction of that. All right, the Trent case. Jujubee, I will tell you, I read this. I don't even remember where it is at. It was the facts of this case are so disturbing. It's youth on youth, basically. A group of kids, high school kids, torturing another kid who went to them thinking that they were his friends, and went back and kept going back, and they kept just abusing him, almost killing him. It is a horrible case, and it just never received the I think the investigation it needed. There are allegations that like children of police officers may have been involved in it and things like that. But we need a cheering soundbite for when people wrap calls up, or when jury comes in, or when the court finally gets moving. I have the cheering, but it's not the best. It's just general applause. All right. I missed Brandy's response. Trenton's Georgia, Glynn County. Thank you very much for that one, Brandy. You were in Florida. Where were you from before? Georgia. Okay, so Georgia's back home. Awesome. Great accent. Definitely give her a follow on both medias. Waiting patiently for the Idaho case. Michelle, unfortunately, what we heard today is that, in my head, if Brian Koberger, the Idaho 4, the accused killer there, does not waive his right to a speedy trial and wants to go ahead, and I think there might be some really sound arguments to not waive that, because the investigation is so complicated that rushing it might prevent the state from having all their ducks in a row, and it might be beneficial for him to do that. But if he doesn't do that, him having a summertime trial just might happen. And so with Sarah Boone and everything else, we might be fighting for airspace between the two trials, and there's more on the books in addition. Let's see. I think her attorney is very bad off. It looks to be like he should stop practicing. Not to be ignorant, but he looks awful. Yeah, I'm not going to tell him he has to retire. I'm all for somebody doing what they love, and if he loves being an attorney, doing it till the day he dies, as long as he's good at it, and as long as he's able to still provide the service that his clients deserve. I'm all for that. Baby Bear, BK waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. There's a greater right to a speedy trial. So he waived at the very beginning. There's a little tiny segment something has to happen in, and he waived that right so that his attorney had time to review the documents that were being considered or presented against him. Once that's done, they're back on the clock. The state's back on the clock to get this in court and be ready and charge, to charge ahead, full speed ahead. So he hasn't, to my understanding, he hasn't waived the right to the speedy trial. June 26th is prelim. Is that Trent or Trent in Georgia? And I don't know. I'll have to look at Georgia. I'm trying to think. I have not followed on this channel. I haven't followed a trial out of Georgia that I can remember. So we'll have to see what the media rules are on that one. I might have to make some requests ahead of time. Maui Bell, good to have you here. So I agree it was obvious what she did. Don't you feel she should? She did. Don't you feel she should be represented? I do think she should be represented. I think everyone accused of any crime deserves a good, strong defense. I think the burden of proof has to be met. The state has to prove that you committed the crime they're charging you with. And if they can't prove it, even if they did it, I believe that person should not go to jail. I think that's a standard that we have to keep. I think that's important to freedom. There's a GoFundMe for Trent. Wonderful. I hope that goes through the moon. Hi, RA. Is Sarah's best chance getting a negligent homicide? Is it a charge in all states? I think it's going to be a lesser included in this trial. They're going. I don't think the state's going to drop the second degree charge. I think they have solid evidence. Basically, Sarah's video, Sarah's voice. She's going to convict herself in this trial. I think is going to be the most damning evidence. It's not going to be the neighbors saying, "Oh, I heard fighting through the walls." It's not going to be, anyone who's saying, "Yeah, they fought all the time," or it's not going to be looking back at the records and saying, "Yes, there was abuse here and there." It's going to be that video that she took of George in the suitcase with him begging for his life that's going to convict her. And so she's only got herself to blame on that one. I don't think the state will consider a deal or less, drop the charge to a lower charge unless something drastic happens. and I haven't seen that happening. We haven't seen any motion in limine to exclude evidence for certain reasons. It looks like it's all in. The BK prelim is June 26th. Okay, we're definitely going to keep an eye on that one, Michelle. Thank you very much. I wish UK would televise trials, but Abby, if they did, we would be so confused. I don't know how the system works over there. I realize it's very similar, that in some cases you have jury trials, not necessarily in all civil cases, I think. That's my understanding. You've got some jury in criminal, but not civil. Or maybe I have that reversed. Let's see, Debbie, I haven't locked down what the case is going to be we're following starting on Monday. Murdoch trial is where I met JT Bruce Crime. He's very invested in the Trent case with Brandy Churchwell. They'll do a great job for Trent and us. That is awesome. Perfectly Imperfect Lisa. JT Bruce is awesome. Just for my exchanges I've had with him on the channel and on Twitter. Highly recommend to follow there as well. There was an attorney ad. You did it. It doesn't mean that you're guilty. Yes, that's basically the same mindset, but from a different angle. Okay, I think we're almost done. What is Weatherwatch Thomas's YouTube address? Gleaves, soon he's going to have that. He's not ready to give that out yet. Just like Nicole, I think very soon Nicole Goodman from Goodman Law Firm is going to have a YouTube address as well. You guys have loved interacting with them as they've participated on my channel, and they have their own channels that will go in soon. JT says, well, if I could include an emoji of blushing, I sure would at this point. JT, you do good work. Don't blush. Be proud. I love to see your updates and comments. You're one of those that I get notifications on every time you say anything. Lil Miss says, Recovery Addict, I love where you put B's award. I bet the one for your 10K from YouTube won't have a pickle on it. YouTube only gives an award at 100,000. 100,000. I tell you what I'm really excited about is if we get to 20,000, which I think we can, in a year or so, we might be to 20,000. YouTube makes it, suddenly at that point they say, oh, maybe people do want to buy something from you, and we'll make it easy for them to do that. And I could just put my links for like the mugs or the hoodies or whatever right in the chat, like Peter Tragos does, so you can buy a shirt just right there on chat. And it just makes it easier for people to do that. That would be a huge help to me, because right now it's a real pain in the butt. So that's my next hope. But really, I'm just excited to be here. All right, any other questions on Sarah Boone today? I'm excited. We got the video we did. We got the audio we did. I've recorded it all. I might go back and listen to it again in case I missed anything. I can share Goodman Law's coughing video with the agates. Nicole last night, what she was talking about. Last night, Nicole took the challenge that I presented. I posted on Twitter, and I said on the channel as well. I said, how long is it going to be before somebody makes a video that is just Attorney Sykes from this last case we just followed with Gwyneth Paltrow? It's just Attorney Sykes coughing and sputtering and snorting. Okay, it's trying to load, Nicole. Give me a second. Okay. Come on. It's thinking. And she jumped on it, and I wasn't sure she was going to do it, so I started doing it at the same time. We both made videos of the same stuff, just approached it a little different. Mine's on the channel already. I'm going to share hers right now, if you give me just a second. Copy link. It's the wrong one. Okay, I'm going to post this right here. Okay, I just posted it. I didn't put any explanation here, but it's on the very, very bottom of chat right now. You'll have to click on it while it's there. If you're on the replay, clicking on the screen is not going to help, but that's the link to Nicole's video. And I'll warn you, this is not something you should watch when you're eating or on the same day that you want to eat. It's sort of disgusting. It's a lot of snot and snort and cough. You will feel infected after watching this. It's what's going to happen. Savas Gun says 100K is around the corner. All right. Avalanche effect will be in place. Avalanche effect will be in place now. It will grow in larger chunks. It's math. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Sarah McGahey. Sarah McGahey. I got carried away with your name. Welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. I did miss one super chat, and I apologize here. It came in during the call with Brandy. Roxy Moser, who was a huge fan of the program here. Been with us a long time, as you can see from the green courthouse by her name. She says, getting ready to have lunch with school with my grandson. I'm going to shamelessly plug RA to the principal. Well, now I'm in the principal's office, whether it's good or bad. But I think it's good. We need more distracted principals that watch court cases in their office. All right. Any more questions? Lisa says, how long has your channel been going to get to 10K? I started the end of October, Lisa. First day we had 13 people on. It was amazing. I think probably 12 of those people are still with us. And it just grew. Next day was 35. Next was 450. And the fourth day we had 13,000 people come through chat during the day. And it's just exploded. The community has been fantastic to me. I cannot thank you guys enough. For letting this poor country lawyer. Oh wait, no, just kidding. That was Mr. Sykes. I love it. You guys have been extremely welcoming, extremely kind to people as they come in, and you just made this a fantastic place. I give credit to some of the.
Grinning face with big eyes.
Somebody just sent a super sticker, I think. I give credit to so many of the people who came in early on and had faith in me and jumped on and encouraged me. Matthew Harris was one of those. He's just done an amazing job. We have Abby, yourself, you as a mod, from the early days. You're up in the UK and stays up all night hanging out with us. It's wonderful. So many people have worked hard to help this grow, and it was fast. It is super fast. And it's been amazing through this. Sarah McGeehee. I will never pronounce it wrong again. How about that? No, if I do, I owe you something, Sarah, at least. Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry I got the pronunciation wrong. McGeehee. Sarah McGeehee. Love the name. I will try very hard to remember that. Occasionally I'll make mistakes, though. He didn't cough at all at the press conference. Angie, I saw that. Sykes was out there the whole time. There was no coughing and snorting. I think it was a tactic. I think it was a disgusting tactic in court. I don't think it worked. See, is there some way to contact you if we have something we'd like to share? Sojourner, yes, we have a burner phone. I literally have a phone number that I give out to everyone on the internet. And I realize a lot of people say that's a bad idea. But this community has been amazing. I will tell you, to this point, I have not had a single person prank call me on it. Wait. Well, some of them pretend to be someone else, but I knew who they were when they did it. So we haven't had it given out to spammers or anything else. It's been awesome. It's a burner number, so if that happens, I just change the burner number and then give out the new one. That's not a problem. I can get rid of the phone in a heartbeat. But we have a burner phone number, so if you need that number, just type !burner in chat. That will pop up with a reply with what the current burner phone number is, and you can call me. So I could bring you on the air right now if you were to call. If you want to talk offline, obviously you can text that number as well. A lot of times when I'm offline, I'm not able to answer calls because I'm doing something else that I might be in a meeting with somewhere or something else. But I do try to answer the phone. A couple of you have called late at night, 11 o'clock at night, and surprised when I answered and said, hey, what's up? What can I do for you? I try to do that as much as I can. But that works. Also, my email address, if you go to my channel page, click on the About button, you'll have an email address. It's a Gmail. It's MD, standing for metal detecting, recoveryaddict@gmail.com. And that can get to me as well. And I check my email about once a month, whether I need to or not. So if you send something email, you might have to contact me another way just to remind me that there's something out there for me. A poor country streamer, country streamer, that's what I am. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate the compliments. I credit all the good sounds to the sound system on my desk that helps shape my voice to be a little better than it is. I can turn off the sound effects and you can hear me without. This is my voice just in the room right here. This is no shaping. Doesn't quite sound the same. I like this sound a little bit better. Okay, needs more cowbell. Thank you, Electric Dog. No other questions. I didn't see another question. Matthew Harris, you dropped another video that I have not watched yet. I think you drop one every Thursday at noon, right? So I'm going to have to go watch the latest video. And you're working on another about being denied boarding compensation from airlines when you're bumped from a flight. Sounds good. If you have suggestions, Matthew does a great job with his channel. Court TV just showed her hearing, new trial date on the 24th because defense is having trouble getting experts. She was a battered wife. Yes, tickled pink. We watched that happen. Surprised. The most amazing thing, I think, was the lawyer's health. Now that's a concern for me. He seems to be 1 foot in the grave. Poor country streamer. That's me. Came in at 5K for the BK flight traffic tracking, and it's doubled since then. Tracy, it's been amazing. We had there was one period in 2 weeks we grew by 3,000 people, which was just unbelievable. I have to thank all of you for welcoming people. As new people come and they're not familiar with the channel, just let them know this is a fun place where we're all friends. And even if we disagree a little bit on a topic or two, it's all right, and we're still friends. And we just we're not mean to each other. We have discussions, and if we decide that I can't convince you and you can't convince me, we say, hey, it's all right, we can drop it and we can still be friends. And that's how it ends. So I appreciate all you guys doing that. Why remove the comments? Only got the half of it. Cope and Whiskey, what comments were removed? Are you talking about the video that was the coughing and sputtering? We were trying to both Nicole and I were trying to point out that it was sort of disgusting with the coughing and sputtering. I tried to put some bits in there that made it a little funnier. And I did that by just taking pieces off. If you play the video and then play mine, everything in my video that I made on my channel for Mr. Sykes happened in that order. I didn't have to shuffle anything around to make him say funny things. I just had to take pieces out to make it sound funny. It is satire. He did not go to the car accident and hand out business cards trying to get business. That's I just tried to put that in there as a funny thing, and I tried to notate that as well. How
install it as well.
I have so many things to put on my bingo card. I have an idea for command for SB trial. Yes, if you have an idea, one thing this channel does is we have an interactive chat where you can type things with an exclamation point before them, and certain keywords will trigger either a response from the bot, which will tell you where Matthew's channel is. So if you type exclamation point Matthew, or you can then you can trigger sound effects where we have some sounds
back, taking it easy,
like that one from Knoxville County Court arraignment. You can trigger those, and most of them, almost everything, is triggerable by everyone. You don't have to be a member to do that, and that's something I've sworn from day one that I want to keep about the channel. You don't have to be a member, and you don't have to give a super chat to ask a question and to be heard and have your voice heard. The only problem is, as we get bigger, it's harder to see each question as they scroll faster on the screen, and it definitely helps if you do what Sojourner did here and tag me in the question, so it sort of stands out for me. I do not I do not wait for a super chat to respond to a question. I want to always make it so that anyone who has no interest in supporting me financially, and that is okay, who is here, has the opportunity to ask questions and be heard. And I'll try to do that as best I can. Sojourner, will you be going over the Boone interrogation? We will, but not on this trial, not on this live stream today. As we get closer to the Boone trial date, as that moves forward, especially if we get past a preliminary or a pretrial hearing without a continuance, that's where we're going to do a refresher course and catch up on why we've had all the different attorneys, why we've what the charges were, what the evidence is against her that we know of right now. There may be more that we don't know of. Obviously, it's not all released to the public, and we'll be doing that as it gets closer. Let's see. It's a Best of Owens mashup. There is a podcast tonight, Weather Watch, whose name is Thomas in real life, and me. My name is Scott. We do a podcast. It's a fun podcast where we take a little more lighthearted approach at just news and things of the day. It's also not heavily political. We don't do politics here. There are plenty of issues we could pull up on the internet and discuss that would divide us, and that's not my goal. I realize that will get clicks and it'll get eyeballs and it will draw attention. That's not my goal. I think we have enough in common that we can be friends and discuss things that we're both interested in without trying to fight about it. B Crumbs just gifted a Recovery Addict membership, and that went to White Rabbit Chaser. Congratulations, White Rabbit Chaser. One of the perks of being a member is you get to take a seat. You get to type exclamation point seat in chat, and you get to move right up to the front row. So wonderful. And then you've got all these wonderful emojis as well. Thank you, B Crumbs, for that. I appreciate the gifted sub. What time is the podcast tonight? I'm in North Carolina, VC, and the podcast starts at 8 p.m. tonight. I'm going to be a little pressed for time because I'm going to be running back from like a potluck dinner we're doing that should end at 7:30. But I'm going to get all the prep done beforehand, Thomas. Don't worry. I'll be ready. I promise. I'll be ready for the podcast. Thank you, Diana. You guys really made it amazing. I owe you my undying thanks. Honestly, it would not be the same without you. All right. Okay. Let's see, Savas Gun. Did you hear a command? Sorry. I do apologize. We do have these commands, and sometimes, someone will call in on the phone, like say Brandy calls in, or Matthew calls in, and then someone at that time says, triggers one of the commands where it's like, now you're talking about things that is not relevant. Triggers a Judge Manning sound clip. That's not me, and honestly, that's not them either. Usually there's about a 10-second delay between what I send to YouTube and you seeing it. So they're responding to something else like that. and so if you do call in and you hear some of the sound effects that you're familiar with on the channel, they're not directed at you. It's probably directed at, 10 or 15 seconds ago, or somebody might be 2 or 3 hours ago on the live stream and responding to that. So it's all good. It's all good here. What is Mrs. R.A. making for potluck? She's in charge of rolls, Heather W., and I'm excited to taste them because she makes the best rolls. Not just cinnamon rolls, but we're talking dinner rolls that just...
Let no dead horse go unbeaten.
They're good. I'll send pictures. And I'll let you... If we have smell-o-vision, I'll send you the smell of the rolls as well, but I save them for myself. Want to see you guys do the red gum wrapper on your forehead? That sounds painful, Lil Miss. That sounds really painful. I already did the pickle challenge and almost poisoned myself with the pickled eggs. Debbie said, I drank all that coffee in no trial. I'm sorry, Debbie. Maybe I don't know what to do. Maybe organize the house and do some cleanup somewhere. Lisa said, I asked about the dead horse command and you used it, didn't you? It is horse. Yes, that's the one.
I'm not a camel.
Kristen, is it Kristen Ike or Aish? I'm not sure which way. I think it's one of the two, but thank you very much for becoming a member. So good to have you here. Please take a seat. I look forward to watching trials with you. This channel makes me want to come to work so I can watch and listen. Your boss will thank me, Christy. That's it. Your boss will thank me. We have the best mods. I will tell you that the mods I give them.
Kick back, taking it easy.
I give the mods the least guidance, whatever. They try to read my mind and do a great job of it. And then I'm like, oh, how about this? How about this? And I always throw stuff at them. They do a great job. If for some reason, in the course of all our time together, you find yourself accidentally timed out or purposefully timed out, this isn't a smackdown. It means that someone may feel that we're going too far on a topic. It might be a perfectly acceptable discussion for the channel, but it might be just time to say, all right, that was a good discussion. Let's move on. Please don't be offended by that. We love you guys here. We want everyone to stay here, and we want the opinions that differ from our own. Honestly, I say that over and over. I want to hear from people who think that I'm wrong. Not to like prove me wrong. I want to fight with you type thing. This isn't like a Ben Shapiro exchange. I want to hear your honestly held opinion. And oftentimes I want to look at that and try to see it through your eyes and learn for myself and maybe change my opinion. That's why. I think we're about done. Shannon, it might be Letitia. No car chase yet today. I've got so much stuff. I've got taxes to do for my kids. But I think that's it. Great mods. Are you scared of a little pain? It's a challenge to see who wins. Little Miss, I don't know. I'll think it over. I don't like... my wife's already gave me a hard time for wearing a tinfoil hat on the channel. She's like, they'll never let you live that down. That picture will live on in infamy forever. Mildred says, hi there. New to this channel, how often do you stream? And do you stream all high-profile cases, whether they're televised or not? Mildred, thank you, first of all, for finding us. I appreciate you being here. We stream every day. I go live 9 a.m. Eastern Time every day. We've followed cases. I made a list of the cases we followed. Basically, since Daryl Brooks, we do follow cases that are that are televised, I think it's easier to watch because we watch that live and provide additional commentary and analysis, and we do that in a manner I think is different than you find in other places on the internet. That's what I'm going for. So we try to follow televised cases, although some big cases that are not being televised, we stay updated on. So like we're not currently following the Lori Vallow case, but we often will discuss some of the updates as they happen. There will be a point, Mildred, I'm working towards the point where the channel will be able to televise cases that other channels that no one else has. I happen to have, as you can see from all the equipment on my desk, this is what I went to school for communications, electronic media. I love cameras. I've worked in the TV industry. I've worked in live sports. I've worked in, TV shows, regular TV shows, episodes, things like that. I've made all sorts of videos and stuff, and that's my jam. I love that, and I love true crime, and so I want to be able to take my expertise, and when there's a case that is interesting that nobody else has, or that requires some special access to get, I'd like to do that for you. It does cost a little bit of money because just the connection alone is about $700 a month, just for the link, let alone the hardware is a few $1,000s as well. But that's what I do. So I'm planning that for the future. So we'll be able to stream cases as long as we work with the courts, because the courts have to allow us. It's a back and forth. But we work with the courts for access, and then we'll be able to stream some stuff that the other people aren't. Not that they can't, but that other people aren't. We won't have like exclusives that no one else can come in on. Long answer. Sorry about that. That was Mr. Sykes would have been very frustrated with my 2-minute answer to that question. But thank you for the question. Any chance of a command of a kid giggling? We have 2 right now. We have Amber with funny, and we have cackle. Cackle was from the Mark Jensen trial from his attorney. Missed the hearing. Sweet Serenity, it'll be available here on the replay in just a minute. I think it takes like an hour for the chat to show up on the replay, but that should be available in a little bit. But we've got the whole hearing, all the audio. Didn't talk over it so you can hear everything. We love our mods. Thank you very much. I would love to have a split screen TV like I see too. Michelle Brannon, I tell you, I'm not kidding. Where if you guys want to do this, I highly encourage it. I love what I do. It's not for everybody, but I can tell you a little bit about how I do it. The split screen you see up there on the screen is made possible by this piece of hardware where I have 8 HDMI inputs. Think of like 8 different computers or 8 different iPads connected into it, and I can select anything I want and put it on the screen in any way I want. So I can switch to a super source where I've got 3-4 windows going on and can really just maneuver them around any style I want, just at a touch of a button, and it's a lot of fun. But this machine makes it possible. It does cost a little bit of money. It's about $1,300 for that one, but that's it. But if you want to do this, and if you're serious and curious about this, I've talked to several people. I'll talk on the burner phone with you. I'll walk you through it and tell you how to start or what I recommend. And I'd love to see other people doing what they love. Might I suggest Thal's tackle? We might need a tackle command. Yeah, Michelle, I will tell you this. All this setup, I've done a lot of different jobs in the audio video world, and all these items, none of them were purchased all at the same time. This was over about 10 years of being able to acquire items through jobs that justified them. So I would not have the money to just dump this out and just set up a studio. That's why I'm pieced together, and I've got an old laptop and an iMac and a broken iPad and my wife's iPad and an Apple TV and things like that. I've just pieced it together over time and made it work, and that's what I recommend, is start with what you have. I bet that setup is fantastic for watching March Madness or multiple Major League Baseball games. Matthew, here's a shocker. I don't watch TV. I don't. Oh, that's the buffer sound, which means the mods are trying to get my attention. Let's see what we have here. Please be safe with bad weather incoming. Abby, I will. There are a lot of people who are expected to have the threat of tornadoes today. We talked about that before. please be aware. Check your weather. Just make sure if something's happening that you are safe and you're prepared in case things go bad today. 2 screens, that's the best Abby can do. 2 is a lot. I need more though. I need more space. I have to, this screen up here, I can show up to 16 different images at once of, everything from the recording, space on my hard drive, the feed going out to YouTube, all videos, audio monitoring, 8 different inputs. I love it. It was worth every penny on that piece of equipment. Let's see. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. We're going to let everybody go. So how was Sarah Boone? Kenny, you missed it. Oh my! I wish I could go over and tell you everything. I've got to wrap up a little bit here and get some taxes done with my kids. Teach them. It's always fun to teach kids how to pay taxes. But it's fun. Half my setup is my work. My work was thrown out. Hey, that's a great way to start. If somebody can throw out some equipment that can get you going, that is fantastic. That's a win-win. 2 screens at work, 24-inch. I watch RA on the right and work on the left. Christy, you've got it figured out. Thank you very much. Reminder about tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on this channel. We are going to do the podcast with Matthew. We might have Matthew on. We never know what his availability is, but it's going to be with Thomas and I. And it's going to be a blast. And like that, holy cow, Savaskan just came in with 5 more gifted memberships. You never know when this is going to happen. Please have the setting turned on to receive gifts on this channel, because it looks like Susan Morgan, Donovan, Cheryl Kivit. I can't say your last name, Cheryl. I apologize. Kimberly Garman, Bushman 613. All of you just received memberships courtesy of Savaskan. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships, and congratulations. Look forward to watching trial with you next week with your names in green. Get you on the front row to watch from the best seat in the house. Continuation again for Sarah. Nothing special. The few things we'll talk about that again, especially the fact that no expert wants to touch her case, even for $10,000. Interesting. We'll see what happens. I have the best voice since Art Bell. Art Bell. Oh man, he did the late night show, right? He had some crazy guests. Thank you, Sojourner. Appreciate that. All right, we're going to wrap up for the day. It's an early break. Have a great weekend, please. Have a great weekend. I will tell you that Sarah Boone is pushed off, unfortunately. It's pushed off again. It's not going to happen in April. We're looking at the late July for the trial to start. July 11th is going to be the next pretrial hearing. Unfortunately, we were afraid this was happening, and it came true. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate everyone who's found us here for the first time. This is a wonderful place. I look forward to watching more with you. Please, tonight when you go home, hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again, which will be at 9 a.m., sorry, as I stall here while I get everything ready, at 9 a.m. on Monday, unless some crazy police chase happens over the weekend. Thanks, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you later.